Town, Detroit, recording live. Prepare yourself for a hoppy drive. If you're chilling at home, pop that growler and just kick back for the next 2 hours. It's the end of the week, so here's to the weekend. It's Better on Draft with Rob, Matt, Nick, and Ken.
Welcome, everyone. Episode 167?
I was going to say 5.
No, it's more than 5.
60. You guys have this really put together.
It's got to be very.
This is a professional.
We're starting late, so we'll go with 160 something. Better on Draft podcast. It's not 169 yet. I know that.
Not yet.
My name is Ken. We are live over in Music Town, Detroit. It is a packed house here.
It's a packed city.
It is a packed city. There's I don't know why we decided to come here tonight.
Eric Church.
Is that who's at
there's
LCA
Eric
tonight?
Church.
Two
There's
nights.
Mike Epps, and there's somebody else over
Anderson
at.
Paak is playing the Fillmore
And
tonight.
R. Kelly's around here somewhere.
Mike.
I'm sure he is.
Trying to get out of Chicago.
So, as you can tell, we have a lot of voices in studio today. So, I want to bring mention someone who hasn't been in studio for a long time.
Yes, sir.
Kevin,
Oh, wow.
how's it going?
Yeah.
Oh, you're fantastic.
Go to hell.
Fourth time?
I think it's the fourth time.
Four time.
Are you a
four-time guest?
Four time.
It might be.
Four Timers Club.
So, I
have
did
a
that on
jacket for
purpose,
you.
Dan. By the way,
I hate you.
that was so good. You were so ready to
I still
talk.
think we need
I thought you were really
we
gonna
need to
leave
bring
Dan.
a
coming over that
Four Timers
couch.
headband.
We're gonna we have someone who wants to print us some stuff in regards to 5 Timers clubs. So we're gonna have the 5 Timers club. So we'll have to have
jeez.
Kevin on again sometime
Yep.
in the
Nice.
future.
I'll
But
write it.
welcome back. How you doing?
Fantastic. How are you?
Good. What are you drinking over there?
All day.
All day. You're drinking all day.
You're drinking
All day, all
Adrian
day.
What's the
Peterson?
beer though?
All day.
Yeah, I know you're drinking all
day
day.
IPA.
But what's the beer you're drinking?
All day.
All day. Okay. Dan, I didn't forget about you. How you
Yeah,
doing?
you did. Hey, what's going on?
It's been a long time since I've seen you.
What, like 2 weeks?
A couple weeks, about
2
3
weeks.
or 4.
2 weeks.
Hasn't been that few.
It's only been 2 weeks.
We did a couple shows over in Arizona. We did an
Yeah.
episode with Tap That AZ as well as the Shop Beer Co. What do you got in your glass?
Got some Eric the Red.
Eric the they have Eric the Red here.
They do.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't tempt me. That is so good.
You only wait 15 minutes in line to get some. I
Yeah.
probably shouldn't say that, but
Well,
You
I
gotta-
mean,
you gotta
once
get your-
all the concerts start, obviously it's going to be dead in here. So
good.
maybe just the Uber drivers would be in here, but I don't know if you
Just
want
the
to.
While
Uber
they're waiting to pick
Yeah,
up the
hey, all
drunk
right.
people again.
I mean, yeah, it's don't drink and drive, drink then drive.
well, no, you don't want to
No,
spill your.
don't do that.
We don't
officially endorse
that. I didn't finish it.
work here.
Nick, what's going on?
What's going on, man?
What are you drinking?
I got the Dragon's Milk Cherry Chocolate over there, somewhere over there. I got that in a solo cup. And then I brought Rue de Floyd from Three Floyds collaboration with the brewery.
Yes, the Three Floyds version. What do you think of the
Three
Three Floyds version?
This has been sitting around for a while, so it's a lot more cherry than vanilla in bourbon-y,
I
but
try
it's pretty good.
Oh, we can try everything here, guys. So that's
So
the
that
job.
bottle's
beer.
around here somewhere.
This is just
you guys
a
wanna
fun
hit it, go
bottle
for it.
share.
I want to
We got it.
that.
Justin, find a microphone.
What's the
Well,
opening?
what are you opening, Rob?
Official.
Hey, how you guys doing? I am opening the Bell's Official. This is Bell's rendition of Jumping the Shark and making a hazy India Pale Ale.
This is their first one, isn't it?
So, I mean, it was yeah, I think it's the first one, and I saw it. I had a bunch of guys who were sending me instant messages saying, "Hey, have you seen this? Have you thought about
a
grabbing
good-looking
this?"
can.
And I'm like, everybody has. I've seen it from you guys telling me to all the posts that have showed up on Facebook, and I just kind of feel like everybody needs to make hazy, and it's like from Axel's, yesterday's news. But
Well, I'm sure you could probably pick up that can over at Zatuna Liquor over in Rochester Hills.
That's early.
Which
That's
I
a
don't-
very
on
early little
59
drop.
on
That's
Rochester
a damn
Road.
good-
That's an
damn good
early
plug.
ass drop.
But
Yeah, it was.
I figured
Jack called me for 35 minutes today. It was a
Did he really?
Lovely conversation.
Was it,
Hi, Jack. I don't know if
It was
never-
a 2-minute
never even worked
conversation that turned into 35.
How many other people did he talk to while he was on the phone with you?
Oh, at least 2.
At least 2. I was thinking like 20.
Yeah, that's the fun part about Jack is you'll walk up, have a conversation, he'll have his earpiece on, and I'm like, "Are you on the phone with somebody?" He's like,
You
"Yeah."
should try to sell something to him
You got to be there at least an hour or
Just send
two.
it. You just send it to him. Like,
because he
Jack.
knows you'll wait. He knows you'll just
Just
wait.
eat every meat stick he has for free, and they're only
nice. But yeah, I figured I'd pick up a single, and I tried to go to what is probably no longer, well, actually it is officially no longer Steve's Party Store out in Hamtramck. And
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was one of my favorite stores to kind of go to, and Steve has sold the business off. and I kind of feel like the craft scene in there is starting to kind of fade away a little bit. I mean, while it's still a decent selection, I was very surprised at the limited amount of bells that was in there when I walked in. And like the racks were already changed, so it was already like really weird going in there.
Were there racks on racks on racks?
But that's only snacks on snacks on snacks.
Little Romeos.
Right. So took a quick stop to 8 Degrees Play-Doh. Hadn't been in there a while. Got to see Tim, Christian, and Zach, the whole gang that pretty much did all the beer and the serving at my wedding. So it was awesome to kind of chat in with them and picked up a can. So I figured, what the hell? Let me give this a try. But I'm hitting this now. I actually already pre-gamed with a Boss Tweed, and I also have a can of Hoof Hearted's Everybody Wants Some, because that always seems to be one of the big things that shows up in the groups is Hoof Hearted, and what better than to get a can that has a Van Halen reference. So.
I can't answer that question, Matt. How you doing?
I'm alive, Ken.
You're alive. What are you drinking over there?
Well, I have the official. It's not a controversy ale, right? So it's just the official.
It's two different breweries too.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to put it out
though
there.
their font that they use, it's just when I look at the can, it reminds me of Austin Brothers.
It looks like a jersey you would write.
In a way. Yeah,
throwback Tigers.
Yeah,
a lot of calligraphy, if you will. I saw the.
I think they call that cursive in.
Which they don't teach in school anymore.
For those kids, exactly. They don't teach it in school anymore. So it's
how they sign their names then.
Yeah, we're just gonna be printing.
You don't need to sign your name like in cursive. Your signature is just your signature.
I realized today.
Does anyone not scribble? I just scribble.
I pretty much do.
It's the same scribble.
Don't sign my name.
Exactly, it's the same scribble.
Doctor science.
If you had to read it, you wouldn't know what it said.
I realized today, or not today, but recently, that my signature is really like an M, because my name's Matt, or Matthew rather.
Oh, thank you. Right.
And then it turns into me drawing a star, or a Stussy from second grade. So it could be the worst thing.
Skateboard throwbacks.
Exactly.
See, this is not going to work in a court of law. They're like, is this your signature?
I have no idea.
Depends. How many beers have I been on? What's the time on that signature?
Yeah, exactly.
Can I get a time date?
So I am also drinking the official. I was hanging out with the guys at Founders earlier today, and they got me nice and toasty. We had the Detroit IPA. We had the juice box. I had a CBS on draft, which, wow, really good. But they only gave me 2 ounces of it in a snifter cup. So can you help me out with that?
I believe that was an 8-ounce pour.
That's an 8-ounce pour.
That was,
those are 16-ounce snifters.
I was gonna say that did
Brandy
not
snifters.
seem
How do you miss 6
appropriate.
ounces?
So
It was like this giant fishbowl with a fraction of liquid in the bottom.
so
It's like a bucket.
Maybe you
So you can
chugged
stick
it.
your big nose right into that glass.
That's kind of like what I feel like when I look at a wine glass and someone pours it a quarter filled, and
no,
that's a full
there was
glass of wine.
half of that though.
thank you for your $30.
I mean, the head of the beer was the other 25% of the glass. But I drank it.
Sounds like a good pour.
They picked it up, so I
We
can't really
paid
fight.
for it.
I was gonna say. I was just gonna say that.
There it is.
I can't complain.
We also have
Fish.
now
You're welcome.
two-time guest from Founders, Alex. How's it going?
It's going.
What are you drinking over there?
I'm drinking it all day, and I'm also drinking this official, which is tasting pretty good.
See, he said the name right.
I have problems. Okay, get over it.
You have 99 of them?
And before that, I had, and thank you, Ken, for bringing Allagash White, which is one of my favorite beers in the world. So
Only one of two made it back in my luggage. The other one, something happened and I can't figure it out.
It got drank.
if it were me, I would have brought
Did,
nothing other than
TSA
that back.
drink it?
No, TSA did not drink it. The cap was still on, so I'm
put an
guessing
empty bottle back.
something happened and it just did not make it. So all of my clothes that
I'm
I brought
sorry
back
about your
smelled like beer.
pajamas.
Did you not put it in a plastic bag?
I did not put it in a plastic
Sorry
bag.
about your
Shame,
Android.
shame.
Double bag it.
So
That's
first
what
time.
she said.
Hold on. They do not sell or allow plastic bags in Massachusetts anymore.
Wait, what?
Yep. There
is
is a
this
plastic
liberal
bag ban in
propaganda
Massachusetts, so I had to get
I'm
paper
sorry,
bags.
I thought this was America.
Yeah.
So the guy actually made me, because of all the beer I bought, he put it all in one paper bag, and I'm like, I'm gonna Home Alone this. It's just gonna fall right through the bottom. So I said, can I get a second bag? He's like, I gotta charge you. And I'm like, all right. And I give him my credit card, and he looks at it, and he's like, it's gonna cost me more to charge you than it is to do it. I'm like, you gotta charge me.
Ship it back to yourself, maybe.
So he just gave me a second bag, and I said thank you.
Did you get an iron to the face, or did you step on Jack's?
Wow, what a hole.
So you're saying you didn't
Did
bring
you run
plastic
into
bags
Donald
with
Trump?
you?
Yeah, you got to bring plastic bags with you if you.
Was this Home Alone 2? Did you run into Donald Trump?
I did not need directions from Mr. Trump.
What about Pigeon Lady?
Pigeon Lady.
Pigeon Lady was cool. But yeah, Allagash White, one of my favorite beers of all time. So I appreciate you
It was
bringing
Matt.
that. And,
It was Matt.
And a couple fun things.
Yep, we got some founders that we're going to be crapping open.
Crapping some founders.
Cracking
That's
open throughout the
Founders.
night.
That's another
what I wanted
brewery.
to say, because I'm drinking the official, but I got it in my nice 2018 Mug Club.
Which you used
Number-
how many times?
I used it as many as the third number in this glass, 540.
Oh, Lord.
Unacceptable.
so zero.
I live a mile and a half away. And
tap
And you own a bicycle.
from the tap room, and I own a bicycle. But as these guys will attest, I stopped.
You don't like
really,
fun?
Back in August, I stopped drinking beer, so
Why?
you could only blame me for the first 8 months. I gotta say, because I'm keto.
Number one.
2 more times, and then it's
am I?
official.
You could have fooled me a couple of weeks ago.
Why is that?
You stopped drinking beer?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. we drank a lot. We were drinking. You guys ever had Kilt Lifter from? I think it's Four Peaks, right?
Yeah.
No, I've
It's-
never, I want to try their beer.
It's
I never have.
their amber. So you're getting a beer kind of like a Killian's in regards to macro, micro, mass produced amber style ale. Really, really good though. We were slamming 24s of them at the couple shows that we went to. So you guys are from Founders.
Detroit.
Well, Founders. They're in Detroit. They work in Detroit. They're reps.
We
in
get
the
that a lot,
city.
though. A lot of people think that him and I both work in the tap room in Detroit. We actually live in our
Have you
cars.
guys ever worked in the tap room, even if
Yes,
it's
bar.
for?
I did.
Yeah.
I did for about 2.5 years in Grand Rapids. That's how I started with us. Yeah.
So have you guys ever worked in the tap room in Detroit?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Okay. So you don't get to kind of like see what the bartenders
No,
go
legally,
through?
the only places we could bartend are the 2 tap rooms outside of this. If we chose to,
So organizationally, we're divided in 2 departments. Our company is separated pretty clearly, operations and administrative, and as you can make sense of those things as they go down. But retail and sales are completely separate organizations. So both of us fall into our sales organization, and
Now, is Detroit a production facility or
its own production facility.
own
right,
production?
produces
facility?
only beer that you can have on premise there. But a lot of the beers you have down there, you can't get in Grand Rapids.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, you would have to distro those, wouldn't you?
We'd have to send them back to Grand Rapids.
Yep.
And then they would have to be distributed through our wholesalers from there, which is just obviously freight
mess.
trucking nightmare. So it's
Yeah.
not going to
Yeah,
happen.
we've talked about that a few times, especially with the new Griffin Claw going up over in Rochester Hills and having that brewery as well as the brewery
So
down here.
it's actually a bonded license issue. So we're still bond to bond in terms of warehouse to warehouse shipping in the United States. It's a pre-prohibition law, and liquor licenses only establish 1 bonded license per company, and so Griffin Claw is a great example of this. At least in a single state. When they brew out of that second facility, they're going to have to ship to Birmingham unless they've rebonded as a company.
Does that make it that Founders Detroit is technically a brew pub then?
It is an extension of our. It is. So under the current brew pub licensing in the state of Michigan, you're allowed 2 facilities, two brew pubs, and although they are seen as individual. So it is a brew
And they'll
pub
do about 400 to 500 barrels is what the
separately
anticipation is.
from what Grand Rapids will do.
Right.
But you're also only selling in-house, so because you
Right.
guys are bringing in beer from Grand Rapids
Correct.
to
Right.
your facility in
Exactly.
Detroit,
And-
but
and-
you also have extra beer that you're only brewing at premise in Detroit.
So they're on a 4-barrel system. I'd like to say it's the most expensive 4-barrel system I've ever seen.
It is.
It's
elaborate.
It has a Siemens control panel, which is a good chunk of change to put that system in.
German company.
in.
Yeah.
So if you don't brew it in Detroit, do you have to pay tax to bring it in from Grand Rapids?
That part I don't know.
Not sure. Not
Sorry.
sure.
We
'Cause
pay,
we would
we pay
love
tax.
access.
We pay tax to make it either way. So
We would love access to the beers that Andrew and Mackenzie are brewing in the tap room in Detroit out in the market, but we don't.
Well, I guess my question was like, if it's brewed in Grand Rapids,
Mm-hmm.
can you literally bring it on in a Founders van to Founders Detroit? Or you have to,
we do already.
Yes.
So there's no distributor involved. If you
So
go
we
from-
don't. For instance, we don't make any all day or solid gold in Detroit, but they're both fine. We don't make any of the. We don't make
cores,
any
the
of the
cores and
core
year-rounds.
product
Yeah.
in Detroit. Everything's made in GR.
But you don't. But you don't pay a distributor in the middle, like a
Correct.
wholesaler.
You can extend your license as a brewery to one additional location.
So I think in regards to everything that we've talked about, because we've obviously talked about it with Kyle over at Griffin Claws, I think it's pretty much a case-by-case basis, whichever brewery you go to, because it's very limited in regards to what you guys see, because you guys have 2 brew pubs, or breweries, I should say, with on-site tap rooms, whereas like somewhere Stormcloud has a production facility and a tap room.
Correct.
So it's probably every single scenario is a little bit different.
Jolly
than-
Pumpkin, for instance, all of those individual locations are not brew pubs; they're restaurants.
Right.
That-
Like I know the Royal Oak one isn't a brew pub, right? Because I still think
They well,
what do you-
Stone, and then
Stone
there's
is still brewing
they,
there.
They're brewing somewhere in that facility. I don't know who's making it anymore though.
in their bathtubs.
I don't know.
open fermentation.
There's actually 3 restaurants attached to
sour
one
sour
license in that facility.
really.
Yes.
'Cause
Because they
it's
have the
all-
basement and they have the back room and they also have the front, which is Owl Jolly Pumpkin, and they also I think the Stone is.
Goji in the back.
Yeah, I don't know. They've changed it a couple
Yeah, the
times.
Korean restaurant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they changed
because
it a
that's
few
all
times.
owned by NUB, right?
Correct.
Right.
I know I'm not asking questions about
Northern
Founders.
United Breweries.
Yes, Northern United
Oh,
Breweries.
we'll
Just
answer all of them
listening at
though.
home.
As long as you know the answer, or just guess. It won't be on the test later.
Confidence is the key.
So I don't know in regards to how much, like, what have you been doing, Kevin, since we last chatted with you on the air?
I
'Cause
don't
it's
even remember
been
the last time we saw each other.
I was gonna. Well, the last time we saw each other was the Fall Fest because I ran around and got all the Fago beers for you.
Oh yeah,
Which, by the way, was epic. That beer was amazing. Just to see everybody having fun with that. But
Yep, and we got all those
But
random
that
people
last time
to
I was on
drink
the air,
beer.
I have no idea. Last time I was.
We'll
other
say it was
than-
2 years ago.
Other than your Facebook posts of all your recipes of shit that makes everybody jealous that they can't make.
Nope, just it's food for me. It's we have a team of 4 now for sales rep wise, and we have a market manager, so we have a team of 5. So we've readjusted and actually shifted our territories a little bit more. I'm only 15 minutes from home, from Royal Oak, so that's great.
So a compliment I pay to Kevin pretty often, because he really needs the compliments.
I do. I do. I don't
He's
get them
lacking the
often
self-confidence.
enough,
Is not that long ago, Kevin was the first sales rep in his role, in his capacity on the east side of Michigan for Founders Brewing Company. One-man show against the world. This guy did it by himself.
Like Tupac.
And
Hey, don't you dare!
and these days there's 4 of us now. So
Yeah.
technically like 6 if you factor in a couple other people.
Yep.
And it was just Kevin for a long time.
Still
so-
don't go to embassy, please.
And Founders is what? Is it number 1 or number 2 in regards to barrelage in the state?
Number
Number 1 as of 2017.
Oh.
So it's been that gap is probably fulfilled. I can't wait to see what the numbers will probably come out next couple.
And we grew
Actually, next few weeks.
quite a bit in 20.
They usually come out because I remember 2 years in a row.
should have seen them by now, actually.
I got the magazines at the World Beer Expo.
Don't throw it.
Why are you gonna throw a can of?
So whenever I would go to the World Beer Expo for like judging and stuff, that's typically when I saw the numbers because that's when the
Yeah.
Michigan Beer Guide would come out.
And
Rex
when's that?
Halfpenny
When's
would.
Expo again?
Usually
March.
voting is in March.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then April is the
Yeah, we'll see it
the
pretty soon here.
festival.
I'm sure we know. I just haven't. It hasn't
It's
been
all
published.
paid-
It
it's
hasn't
all
been published.
taxes,
Our
right?
production numbers out. We have
Yeah, we've already announced what we produced
I'm-
barrel wise.
But you tell by taxes. Taxes paid in is where you know the answer.
That's
right?
exactly the right answer.
Yep.
And you get the tax. You know, you can like find taxes at year end. So, or this person paid.
Which
in.
is an astronomical number.
Well, thank you for that. I mean,
Yes.
you might have fixed like 1 or 2 potholes.
You're welcome.
Big
I was gonna say, I
How big is that
hit a
pothole?
pothole today on 7 Mile, and I had to apologize to my car.
I hit one on I-75 today. That was
We won't talk about potholes in my day to day.
Oh, is that what happened?
It's bad when you just have to say
happens.
sorry. to the car.
So Nick called, and I guessed what happened was something with your car.
Yeah.
I was like, it's
right.
gotta be.
Yep.
Too easy.
Yep,
It's also Michigan though.
Yeah, it's right before the Davison Freeway turns into the Davison Freeway.
Oh,
We
I
are
would not want to be
going
stopped there. By
west. Yeah, Highland Park.
Yeah.
the way, no thanks.
Great place.
Highland Park.
Were you
Oh, you're on
packing?
that side of the Davison.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
on that
Well, I
side.
just went through there just to get to Steve's and have traffic. That's exactly my way.
Oh, I would-
96 to Davidson.
Rob's
well, you-
chilling in
well,
Highland
you-
Park.
you-
Like, what's wrong
yeah,
with
yeah.
that
Do you
neighborhood?
realize there's a difference between Nick and
So,
Rob?
yeah, no, right.
There's a target market right there.
It's Highland Park. Shit, man. I don't even want to be in Highland Park. motherfucker.
but you'll survive.
Is it because Rob's got the gray hair? Nick
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
yet?
it's a gray hair. It's a gray hair.
I do have gray hair in my beard.
It's a gray hair.
Whenever it comes,
Without a doubt.
goes out.
What is so you've been with Founders for a bit. Obviously, I think the last time we chatted was in regards to launching the Mothership series. What is currently going on with the Mothership series? What has been released? What is being released?
A lot. Yes. So we have KBS coming up. We just
On
had
your
Blushy
butts.
Monk, not part of that barrel age series by any means, but a nice little gap for us since when we launched the barrel age series, we had Fruitwood, and especially in January, we were all thinking porters and stouts. It was a nice change of pace to have a maple bourbon barrel aged cherry ale versus another porter, another stout thrown into a barrel. But we have KBS coming right up too, which is.
And you guys aren't doing KBS Week this year, right?
We're not. We are still doing the KBS events in the tap room. We're still doing ticketed events that the public can buy and get it probably a week earlier than general public and the rest of the nation. But KBS Week is not part of it now. For the sales force and my squad here and Alex and myself, we will do our own version of KBS Week. We kind of always have. So between
Going to like different bars and stuff?
Oh yeah. I mean, we'll still do some off-premise stuff too. Jack will want a little presence, have some fun to help him as the tunas and.
I mean, yeah. Either way, we're gonna do a week of events, whether or not it's official.
Yeah,
in any
gotcha.
capacity. So
Or
it's-
2 weeks if you want to be
or
crazy.
basically a month.
I guess one of the big questions.
Because you got to
we're-
spread it all out, you know.
We're
it's-
bringing up KBS.
I have a couple days off in March.
Yeah.
We brought up KBS. How does distribution work in regards to how do you allocate where beer goes?
That's an interesting question.
It is the most the biggest change that we've probably had, at least with our current wholesaler now here on this side of the states, Rave Associates. They cover 8.5 counties. What we've done from the start when I came over here 4 years ago is drastically different to how it is now. So it was based off of originally for volume.
I think
and
it's no
for
secret
instance-
that those who sell the most get the most, right? That's a simple concept to think
right,
about.
but
Yeah.
the whole portfolio. It's not just a
and,
specific.
and we
one
work
beer.
off of the industry as a whole, and this I can say this almost universally works off an 80-20 rule that 20% of our accounts are going to sell 80% of our product. And
That's a big corporate
yeah,
approach.
Yeah,
yeah,
but
so
it's a simple-
yeah,
but it's
so
simple
good.
true.
Yeah, absolutely.
true.
Yep,
and,
it is true.
And we're not going to think of it in any different way. That and we truly need that 20%.
Right.
To handle the 80%. So that's who we go out and leverage. That's who we go out and work the hardest for. That's you name the hot button accounts or the big accounts in the market.
Hail Mary's nothing really look.
Right.
But I think
one of our
They
best partners
have
in the
a
market.
4-year vertical on March 15th. By the way.
And I think it's tough for the consumer to see that.
Of course.
Because the consumer, what they see is when they go into the store, they see something where, oh, I can only buy one bottle or two bottles. And in some places, I can buy a 4-pack or two 4-packs.
Correct.
And as a consumer, they will get, they will have a level of angriness that they're walking into their store. And it's like,
They get pissed.
they get pissed
I
because
think
they
it's
really
a
like
self-created
KBS.
transparency because
Yeah. But the stores don't provide the transparency other than it was like, well, the good stores that do, like 8 Degrees or Zatuna or Steve's, where they basically say, okay, I got KBS, it's going to be 1 bottle or 2 bottle limit at
Right.
that point because this is what I got.
Right.
And it's still with the consumer still looks at it and say, well, wait a minute. There's still all of this KBS that came out. Why did you only get this much?
Right.
This doesn't. I want to
have
buy
the
as
answer
much.
to that.
Meanwhile,
I want to hear this.
Would you like a
have the answer to that.
screenshot? Yeah, right.
I want to hear what the answer is. What's the answer?
No, but
Obviously
honestly,
dumping it.
those days are long gone. So what we're doing this year, we produce more KBS every single year, and
Yeah.
it's always been in the past that
We're never
we
going to make less.
We shut down production for about 2 weeks, and we make as much KBS as we possibly can in that 2-week span, and then we throw them into a barrel, right? And we're gotten to the point now where these ones in single bottles, like those accounts are going to be the ones that haven't been really supporting us fully or all of our portfolio. But you'll see a lot more KBS this year. You'll see a lot more everything else that we're doing this year.
But could it be too much?
We haven't gotten
when I
there
look-
yet.
We're gonna
So
find out.
there is
I mean-
a threshold. We know that. We recognize that, and I haven't seen it yet. But every account we've talked to so far, especially the top accounts, be asking, We haven't gotten there. They easily could have taken more because do you guys see KBS on the shelves anymore still?
No,
Well,
but where
hold on.
but
I asked for
where
one
my
brand,
question
not-
is
not
going
the
is that where my question is going is that in regards to CBS, and you guys
Right.
brought out CBS. It was on a 6-year hiatus. It came out and everybody was buying that shit. They were picking
For
up
sure,
bottles.
for sure.
They were breaking out switchblades to make sure that they got a bottle of that stuff.
Yeah.
And
And then it came out last year.
It's coming back this year.
It came out last year, and
No, it came out once.
It came out last year, and it seemed like every store that I would walk into, they still had CBS, and it made me think, well,
saw it this
did people get did people get tired of it already? Was it not? Was it too much?
That's a loaded question by all means. The format makes a difference. Yeah. However, that beer still represents one of the best liquid that we can actually give you, as from a producer standpoint. The format makes a big difference. So the fact that this bottle that's sitting next to me exists and you guys can see it, people know that the 12 ounce.
Can we? Can we?
Yeah, I mean, we should. We might as well crack one.
Camera
By the
right
way.
in front of you, like right on you. So if you hold it for a minute, they might be
Otherwise,
able to get into you.
Otherwise, Mufasa.
So speaking of that,
No,
will
no,
be coming
there's
out
a
in
camera
a
right here,
4-pack, but
Everybody see this?
The camera guy's probably like pissed off right now. Sorry, Ryan.
They quit.
Yeah, right there. Okay, yeah, keep it right there. I'm actually looking at the camera right down in the lobby of the hospital.
so
Like,
I mean,
yeah, I can see it. Oh yeah, you're perfect. You're golden.
we all everybody's
Oh,
sitting
he's
around here
zooming
right
in.
now. Can
Yeah.
prop-
Zooming in.
Okay,
Yep,
All right, we're
So-
still in audio medium.
and that definitely because going to some of the things about consumers have asked about is that especially with this the last year CBS that came out, that there seemed to be a quite a bit of vitriol about the
well, let
fact
me-
that
let me tell you something-
the 12-ounce bottles didn't come out last year.
I'll give you two caveats to that question. The first is a little known fact about Founders as a company is that in the last essentially 3 years,
I was trying to hit your penis. I'm sorry. You were
I'm
looking at-
sorry, folks. Matches through keys at Ken and
Yeah, it's
in
all
his
right.
cup.
All right.
All the beer spilled
so
on me.
in the last 3 years,
No beer spilled.
Founders has opened a secondary production facility that we don't run around and talk about a whole lot, but we call it WTF internally.
warehousing trucking facility. Come on,
It
guys.
is our warehousing trucking
keep it
facility.
PG.
We
Right.
call it WTF.
Right next to the Farmington
Its
Underground
actual
Candy
name is
Canyon.
Founders Barrel House,
Okay.
and in that facility, we're producing barrel aged beer. It only. If you removed that production facility, the numbers that are coming out of it from our total number, it's the third largest brewery in Michigan
And we're number one.
on its own. So the fact is, we have the ability. It's on an 80 barrel system. There isn't a brewery other than ourselves and Bell's in the top 10 that have an 80 barrel system. So we're talking about a very sizable production that can handle a lot of volume. And what we're doing with that is giving you more CBS. We're giving you more barrel age. We're giving you more KBS. We're
Backwards year round.
backwards year round. We're
That's a
able
good
to
thing.
hit
That's
these
insane.
numbers.
Think about
And-
that. Still aged for an entire year, and that's
You're
fourth
putting
thing.
it
But
on
when
our
you see it still on the shelves, it kind of, I don't know, it makes me
Check
think
the date.
like
We also
basically, I took a trip out to Grand Rapids back in November, and I stopped at Rishi's, which for anybody who's
Best
never been to
best store in
Rishi's,
GR.
that is one of the best damn stores I've ever been in my entire life. Sorry, 8 Degrees, but
Shout
holy
out to
shit!
Rishi. He's a good
Shout
dude.
out to Rishi, he knows his shit. But walking in there and just seeing cases of CBS, first I thought, okay, wait, this is Grand Rapids, this is home of Founders. There's still going to be a whole bunch of CBS that's going to be out here anyway.
But I can tell you
But-
firsthand, if you talk to Rishi about that, he's not upset. He's not looking
Shit,
at
look
it
at
as
his
a
store space. I wouldn't be upset either.
Why, that's what his store is for.
Right.
He's there to facilitate a long-term relationship with Founders because at this point we're a profitable piece of his business. We're not just in this to be a cool brewery. We're in
in
that.
and out in a week. Those times are long gone.
We don't make a single shot release. We're talking about long-term profitability of a brand within the scope of this guy's business, and he appreciates us. And so when we approach a retailer and say, "I have this much CBS for you," and it might sit on your shelf, they're gonna not blink an eye at that conversation.
Do you not think there's some sort of luster lost by it being
That's
year
the
round?
victim. That's the victim. Is the heat is gone, right? Too much of a good thing. We don't know. Personally, and I think I speak for Kevin in this as well. and I hope I speak for some of you guys in this same aspect, is that if you can walk into nearly any store in the market and grab a 4-pack of Backwoods, that's a beautiful thing. Like it is still one of the absolute best beers we make. And
I totally
Next to better
I
half.
don't disagree, but isn't there that sexiness of a
Hard to get.
a microbrewery
I-
isn't
go
that
ahead,
the
man.
one thing to hold on to like you have those releases, those quarter releases, those certain things where like you can only get it like in a seasonal or
I'll be very frank about this. The numbers say otherwise. But,
Totally.
we sold more in 2018 than we sold in 2017.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, I get where Matt. I get where you're saying the
treasure map
the
beers.
treasure, and I
In a
wouldn't
way.
consider
But
Backwoods
we-
to be
we are
hard
the-
to get either. Because
No,
I figured
no.
that out of
It used to be.
I'm sure you. Oh
absolutely.
yeah, totally. But even the last couple of years before it started going year round,
Put this in
I found
perspective.
that to be a very very accessible beer
Totally.
to anyone. This is before you started.
It's different in
year
Michigan.
round.
We're skewed perspective in the state
Yeah,
of Michigan, right?
Yeah, it's not like this guy.
Put this
Phoenix,
in
for
perspective,
example.
right? We are the 8th largest brewery in the country.
That's crazy.
Name another brewery in the top 10 whose releases you can't get.
Yingling. I'm not wrong, am I?
You're not wrong. Exclude him from the conversation.
Damn.
Kick him.
Hold on.
We don't get Duvel here, do we?
Yeah, of course you do.
Not Duvel. But yeah, I guess that's where I was going for was Duvel. Duvel's because Duvel's
You mean Firestone?
Firestone.
Firestone.
Yeah.
Firestone Walker.
I mean in
But the thing is-
general market perspective,
I
right?
guess I'm not-
isolated to
Firestone
Michigan.
Walker here?
New Glarus.
Nuclear. Yeah,
They're not,
They're not top
They're
10.
not top 10.
They're
No,
close.
they're
They're
nowhere
like
near.
they're
They're
not
like
even top 20
30th.
anymore. Yeah,
We've
I'll have
had
to
this
look it up.
conversation.
they have to open another state to be.
But my thought is, isn't it like and we could
Do you
talk?
get what I'm saying by that?
But I don't. But my question is also to you. Do you get what I'm saying? Is like one of the keystones of being a craft brewery, and maybe we'll get into this conversation next, is you having that limited time. And I wouldn't have an issue with you guys putting more CBS on the shelves that
We're
one
about
time that you release it, but keeping it year round loses the luster of those brands. And don't you think that like there could be a
Do you think it becomes?
Saturation.
Do you think it
I
becomes
think
like an
it-
Oberon where everybody starts complaining that it's not as good as it used to be when it came out in
You
2011?
would not want to know how many times I hear that a week
About
mean-
CBS.
about anything we do.
Well, in regards to that, I think if you went so Backwoods, you're probably pushing out more Backwoods than you would for your release, but you're not probably making as much.
We're making more.
Well, you're making more. So for your Backwoods release, you would make X, but now you're making more than X every week or every 2 weeks or every.
Not in a weekly perspective. We're making more. We're making more in total than we used to. Like I said, we sold more as a company. We sold more Backwoods Bastard in 2018 than we did as a company in 2017.
Well, that
It's
makes
in simple math.
that makes sense, but aren't you taking it away from a large release spread and
We're
spreading
just
out
giving
a
it
little
to the
bit
people
more?
who didn't get it before.
Well,
It's-
yeah, but if I can go in and get it at any time, now I can go get it at any time, but I don't have to feel like I have
Does that
to
mean
fight
you're not
anyone
going
to
to buy
get
it?
Yes.
Sorry. Most of the time, yes. I
Why?
mean, I
Really?
can't tell you the last time that I bought.
When did rarity determine quality?
It's not
a quality.
rarity or quality. It's quality, but it's
Sure
not
did.
rarity. No. So, for instance, I love Maduro Brown, but the second it got to the state, I haven't bought a single
The
can.
accessibility.
I've had
It's
highlight in my
accessibility.
fridge every day since they launched the state.
But we've seen this, and it's not just Cigar City. It's
I don't
Fat
think it's
Tire when Fat Tire came into town. It's Ballast Point when Ballast Point.
You're just telling me that you're spoiled.
I mean, well, I guess here's the thing: is it something where it kind of goes into the fact that craft beer people are just not loyal to beer, and with
we
something
know
that is being accessible,
Say it louder for the people in
something
the
that
back.
is being accessible at all times.
By the way, it's
plays
February.
plays
Now
on
that
the
I know that I
loyalty
can-
of the beer.
Now that I know I can get it whenever I want, I'll get it whenever I want. I don't have to take advantage of
that shouldn't
someone
mean
in
never.
Florida.
It shouldn't mean never.
Well,
as a consumer, as someone invested in the industry, it shouldn't mean never. Go ahead.
What it does, hold on, because it doesn't let them be exclusive. They don't let them be that, our favorite term from back in the day, the CBY. Oh, I've got so many bottles of this. They don't want it because everyone can get it now.
It plays,
All the plebs
it plays on
have
their,
it now.
on their beer. It plays on
Yeah.
their value.
Well, look
because
what
now
I
they
have.
can't trade it.
Yeah,
Well, and we
exactly.
took away the value. I'm not sorry. It's
Don't be.
Don't be. You guys are in a business. You guys are.
We took
a
away the
business.
trade bait.
It's your
Well,
business.
we
Money.
we,
That's
we
how you
also
make the
saw
money.
that when shorts went to multiple states because shorts was a big trade bait from Michigan to other people. Matt, go on.
I like to call this the candy corn principle.
Yes.
Okay, the candy corn principle. Who
I
buys
feel like
candy
you're,
corn?
you're trying to Barney Stinson this and making it your own law.
Okay, yeah. So like, who buys candy corn in February? Nobody. Candy corn shows up from September and it leaves November. Like,
Especially
and
when it's 70% off.
so if candy corn are year round and barrel aged, and
people would not buy.
We're going out buy candy corn. It's like, well, shit, candy corn on the shelf again.
If you put candy corn at the CVS aisle in the same place next to
fortunately, backwoods tastes infinitely better than candy.
it does, but the thought
Make
is
a candy corn variant.
like,
Now we're talking. Now we're talking.
but my thought is
I hear you.
Backwoods, CBS, KBS, those were events. Like you go there, you get a beer. Even it's like opening day at the time. Like if Tires play
Well,
year round,
we're
never
I'll
smell
argue because the one thing I've said for over
fight
6
you.
years is that
what? What's that?
Backwoods
know.
Bastard never had its own release party.
Oh.
It just happened to be available, whether it's our tap
kind
room
of shows up
and
on
beyond.
the
Yeah,
just
so it was,
comes out.
it was never an event. We always love it too because that time frame is when we're launching Harvest, our wet hopped IPA, and that takes a lot more, a lot more shipping of the fresh hops and stuff too. So we've dedicated, an event to that. It was too close to that time frame, so it used to be around October 1st, but yeah.
But I guess my thought is, again, I just feel like when you get to a size that Founders has gotten, you have these institutions like KBS Day and CBS Day and Backwards Day. That's what keeps a brewery relevant, I feel. And I could
Right.
be completely wrong. So to have that beer every day of the week, or you can find it at any time, like at a Zatuna Liquor or at Holiday. We were talking about Holiday, earlier today. Like you can stop at Holiday 3 days a week and find KBS or CBS there.
What's wrong with that though?
There's nothing wrong with that. but
Exactly. How
I don't
about
think
this?
there's anything wrong with that. I think it just loses its
KBS has been
luster.
around for about 15 years. The original version was breakfast stout. We barrel aged it, and it was a little bit less than what they anticipated. So they did an imperial version, is what the version we now know. There are so many people, and I talk to them every day. They have never tried KBS. So we're trying to reach and spread the love as much as possible.
Did they
There
ever
is a
mix it with
there is a
Milwaukee's Best
threshold.
Ice?
What's that?
No, I did that, wasn't it? Was
That
it
was
Milwaukee's
Kevin,
best
yeah.
ice?
Yeah.
The Milwaukee's best.
We mix.
Yeah, we were
Milwaukee,
talking about that earlier.
Kentucky Beef.
Kentucky Beef
Kentucky
Stout.
Stout.
But I guess my thought is the issue that you are describing, I feel, is a palate issue. It's not I just cracked a new beer. I don't think the issue that you're describing is I don't want Founders to be a Three Floyds or a Dark Lord Day, but I
Right.
feel like having that weekend where it's this weekend this beer is available, like it builds the anticipation of the brand as opposed to
For sure.
Who's
Who's to say that we're not going to bring a brand back and do it with something else?
And
right? So
I'm not saying you did,
I mean,
but
they still- I
with the
mean, even
CBS thing, like we were talking about, like CBS
the
is available.
mothership series. I brought you guys Panther Cub. You guys saw what happened with Barrel Aged Imperial Stout. I stood in line for an hour and a half as an employee to get some bottles of Imperial Stout, Barrel Aged Imperial Stout. So there's other brands I think that can come to the light, not to cast a shadow on the rest of the portfolio that we have, but there's other things that we want that we've done. What everybody knows us for is all the beers that everybody, firsthand knowledge. Everybody knows the names of it, but there's a lot of other things that we can definitely, do that with exactly what you're talking about.
And how many cases of that did you get?
Myself, I got one, because I stood in line for my team and helped out a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin.
See, yeah, this guy knows.
The big thing that I feel like in regards to this conversation is again, it's accessibility, it's availability, but when we see things, and I think a lot of people get upset in regards to we don't know how the board works. So Alex, if you want to talk in the mic real quick.
I think I hit a button.
Yeah, we might have hit a button on Alex's over there. So it's blue, that's all I know. In regards to beer, in regards to accessibility capabilities, we see it, and the big thing is that when we were with Dan, Dan, I saw a KBS vert on the shelf in 4-packs for 3 years. Like, how do you guys decide how much beer states get that aren't necessarily pushing that much?
That's the hardest. That is the hardest part of
Any brewery.
of any
Distribution.
any company, right?
Yeah.
Is you got to play to your strengths. We have to offer the same portfolio.
I'm not saying
to
offer
Maine that we offer to Arizona that we offer to Michigan, and so it's weighted in quantity that it's the fact stands that if you put all day on the shelf, you're going to get KBS on the same shelf. That's the game, and two of those things keep our lights on as a company. They keep the wheel turning, and so it's the eternal struggle. The first time I bought KBS as a consumer, before I worked for Founders, was at a 7-Eleven in Ohio.
Damn.
And is that reflective of the market that we see in the state of Michigan? It's not. But it's the reality that in the long term, there's no one that isn't a customer.
We see it, but like you'll go to these places and you'll see some of these beers that will go on and off the shelf so fast within the state. Like you go to a Zatouna Liquor, and the second he says on Facebook, "I have this beer," like a CBS, it's gone before the end of the day.
Right.
Whereas there was Project Pam. I walked in, maybe R.I.P.
I know. Most complex beer we ever made.
Rest in Pam.
Rest in Pam.
Like I went to Boston 2 years ago, and it literally I found 10 bottles sitting on the shelf.
They were shitting.
Yeah,
Shitting on a shelf.
And you shipped none back, or what was the
I
dealio?
did actually bring all of them back.
Attaboy.
I had a friend who was a huge Project Pam fan and
Absolutely.
got all 10 bottles.
I'll answer this with a caveat also.
Give me caveats. Caviar.
I love them because I think that there's always a secondary answer to a direct line, right? And my answer is I've traveled a lot for beer in my time and work.
Where have you traveled? The furthest.
I've been as far as California, as far as Boston.
Just for a beer.
No, for work to sell beer.
To sell beer. Okay.
And what's been cool in that process is that I've gotten to try just about every and I'll keep it isolated to, let's say, IPA and barrel aged stout. I've been fortunate to try.
Are those popular styles?
Right,
No.
those are big, right? And it was never in the state in which those beers were from. The first time I had Pliny was in Colorado, and it's the nature of the business is that it's growing and changing and evolving, and it's crawling out of its own 2 feet. And Founders right today, I mean, we launched Colorado this past year. We got 3 states left.
Yep. Wyoming, Utah, and Hawaii.
Yeah. So you can get KBS, CBS.
Can you make a 3-2 CBS?
Good luck on Utah. Yeah.
Utah's
We'll
rules are
get there,
changing.
Utah.
Utah's rules are changing.
When they change, we'll be there.
I know a little bit about that.
That's the reason we're in Colorado. So it takes a little.
It takes time.
Yeah.
But the answer is you can get CBS. I drank a CBS in Montana.
Wouldn't you think, though? So you disagree with me on the premise that if Russian River decided to distro here in Michigan, in 6 months, Pliny the Elder will be on every shelf and nobody will give two
welcome
shits
it.
about it? Well, you welcome it because you want to drink it, but in 6 months, do you not think you're going to go to whatever the next beer is that is being released by the 375 Michigan breweries within the state? Or all the breweries that are coming into the state, like Hoof Hearted
Depends
came
on
into the
format
state?
and pricing,
It's a double-edged sword.
in my opinion.
I think Pliny only comes in big bottles, don't they?
Right. You
The
wanna
double-edged sword
You put that in a
is
15-pack can. Bring it.
availability
Oh,
versus
gosh.
rarity.
Well, that's kind of a conversation that we've had before in regards to the fact that there are a lot of people, and it's probably a small minority because I think a lot of other people don't care, but I think given the opportunity they would. CBS being launched and in 12-ounce bottles across the border versus the Bombers here in Michigan.
Right.
Like, wouldn't you want to provide, especially those heavy ABV beers in a
For sure.
smaller vessel?
And you'll see it this year. The problem in the past,
Oh, you got
the large format, the 750, does not translate for international sales. So
What do you
so a 750 milliliter of
Actually,
CBS.
it's legality.
Yeah, so international law for us distributing to Canada in that large format.
By ABV.
Yes. It won't. We can't do
So in Canada, they've made laws or regulations or whatever in regards to the fact that bottle is too big for the ABV that is given
correct.
to you.
Correct. And also, once we first distributed it last year, is actually the reason we don't have the Mountie on the label this year. Because, however, CBS has been around since 2007, 2008. Last year was the first time we distributed to Canada, and now we don't have the Mountie on the label.
Oh, you want that beer?
Yeah, you do. That's Panther Cub, by the way.
So we talked about the whole Mountie thing as to what we thought was the problem.
I like to say that they sent a very politely worded letter. It started with, "I'm sorry, we have to do this."
Them and their
Did it really
laws.
say
I'm
that?
sorry.
Sorry. I wish it did. That's what I tell everybody. It said.
Did the letter end with peace out?
The Mountie.
We're
Act.
sorry we have to.
Is
do
it because
this.
they were like annexed by Vermont for a minute?
It's because they're protected the
The Mountie.
Trademark.
mounting.
Yeah.
In regards
It's
to
it's an actual law. We've talked about this.
yeah, in regards to these, so you guys are gonna make smaller format CBS in
Correct.
Michigan this year. Are you going to be like? Is it 12 ounce? Is it,
It is
smaller?
12-ounce 4-pack.
12 ounce 4-pack. Okay. What do you know what the price point's going to be for that? Because that's definitely
It'll be probably. I actually don't have that direct answer. I can tell you it'll
I can give you
probably be a little higher
How
than
about a
KBS.
guess?
I'm gonna say
27 to 29.
I was gonna say 28. That's exactly what it was gonna be.
If I went to,
I'm gonna say the high end retailer is gonna go $29.99. The value retailer is gonna go $26.99.
Does that go
what
out
about the
nationwide?
retailer that is just
Yes.
literally doing it to rip you off?
They're gonna go
$55.99.
$35.99
Per bottle.
Per bottle.
If it's
How do you
if it's
guys-
Costco, it's gonna go
With,
$24.99.
we're not going to call anybody out specifically, obviously. How do you guys deal with, because obviously it's already gone through one part past you. It's
I'm a
gone
bad
through the
person,
distributor.
yes.
It goes to the sales, but you're the one showing up to these places. You're the one selling it,
For sure.
and then getting the distributor to come in to finish
Yep.
the deal.
I just throw things at them violently.
That's a good
Not
strategy.
what you guys-
Sometimes it's fists, sometimes it's Slim Jims. You never know what you're gonna get.
It's like that Jaeger Schnitzel on the corner.
No, but what's your question? With it?
What do you guys? What is your policy procedure like? How do you guys get them to be like,
So
hey, you
it's a
need to
tough
come
answer,
down on
right?
this?
So
But it's
once
also they're a
once it
business.
actually makes it to the account, they have every right to charge whatever they want legally, right? They own that product. They could charge you $50 a bottle. Now we all know though the power of social media. It's in 2019 now. You have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you name
Grindr.
it. All these other social media
Grindr.
platforms are, it's a different world, right? We all grew up in a time where we didn't have that, right? In high school. You know, when you start thinking about the power of social media, those accounts will be named as gouging, and they're only hurting themselves. So we come in to say, look, your neighbors down the street are charging this. You want to be probably close to that because you're gonna have the same people shopping at those same accounts, right?
There's kind of like there's two answers to the question, in my opinion. That
always.
that officially, it's what Kevin just said. That they can sell it for whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. We have no control. Truly, the real answer is we have no control.
And they hurt themselves in the long run.
Unofficially, they hurt themselves in the long run with us. That a guy like myself, a guy like Kevin, our teammates, our coworkers, our colleagues, they go on a mental list of don't care about that retailer because they're not a partner. And at the end of the day, this is a 3-tiered partnership from production
Start to finish.
to retail.
Yep.
And
Technically 4 when it gets to you guys.
if you're not
Right?
playing, if you're not playing your cards right, if you're not playing the part of being a partner, I want nothing to do with you.
Do you ever? How do I put this? Lightweight a retail partner because you know they're going to gouge it. Like you give them
everybody
case
wants to
placate
think
them.
about
It's their money.
who's on the blacklist, right? No,
I'm just
it's,
saying-
There is no official black.
there's no official one by any
Well,
means.
it's a TV show.
But by all
They're
means,
like 5
we
seasons.
There's a mental one.
James Spader, he's an underrated actor.
He is a
not
very
bad.
underrated.
No,
actor.
but
Robert California,
We'll
for
just
sure.
say that we're not the only brand that has the exclusive, phenomenal brands, right? So we're not the only ones that have this mental blacklist, right? So if it's happening, you can see it, and it's blatant,
I know who I don't want to talk to.
right?
Like when one of the high release beers comes out, do you make a point to not that week, that month, not see that retailer?
All right, I'm not tooting my own horn or our own horn in this.
Because you guys toot your own horns.
In this statement, right? Our role is to add value to our retailers. It's to go out and to benefit their business and benefit our own. And so our presence in those accounts, our presence and representation, our advice, our partnership is valuable to a retailer as long as they're also doing their part. And if they're not, then I'm not going to bring my side to that table.
The value.
And they're going to lose in the long run.
So, I mean, we always talk, like, I used to sell beer too.
Yeah.
And I knew people who would sell that hard 40%. And
those days are long
Those
gone.
days are long
well,
gone.
I mean,
Whole Foods isn't even that anymore.
but I mean, that was the mentality. Like, they get the 0.41 or times 0.41 to get that plus tax, and that's how they would, price their beer, and they wouldn't care what you would think. That's what they're going to do. So are you guys like just not?
No.
I don't want to say not calling on them.
Are
but
you
one
asking
thing-
me
the
or
one-
my boss?
The one good thing and the one thing I love about Founders is when we release an announcement of a certain brand, we give a suggested price to consumer. There's not a lot of breweries that actually do that. So we have the suggested price to retailer, which is a suggestion to our wholesaler. That suggested PTC is very important because we put it on all channels, our website, and say, hey, consumers, you shouldn't be paying more than this because the
Has that lost to
margin, the
customers,
percentage
though?
we're
Is that
giving.
lost to retailers?
No, I don't think
No,
so.
the margins we're providing for that that PTC is generous.
As we're
It
talking
is.
about, this is the most competitive market that beer has ever had, right? It's and price is now relevant because consumers are aware of it. They
are
do their
way too smart nowadays.
They do the research before they get in the door of the store.
They can check Untapped. You name the app. You got
beermenus.com.
something for it. We even provide on our own app where to find the beer, and then and a link to the suggested PTC. So when they walk into an account, oh, hey, your $30 4-pack of KBS should be this. We want those consumers to say that.
And
we want the retailer to make their money. We do. We want those consumers to. Because they're going to find it somewhere else if it's not what they want.
It's no secret that a big part of Founders' success is weighted in our chain business with Meijer especially has been our longest partner that we've ever had. Kroger's our largest retailer as a company. And so what's both fortunate and unfortunate for the independent retailer, especially in this conversation, is that our chain business sets the market. So that when Meijer goes $15.99 on our 15 packs, the independent retailer looks at it and goes, "Uh-oh, I have to react to that."
However, the good independent will match it or do better.
Yes.
And that's what we're looking for.
But there's also
that's a partnership.
I disagree because as somebody who lives near a lake, if I walk into a party store, I'm willing to pay an extra $1 to not stand in line at the U-scan or not because it's like beep. Need to check your ID.
There's a reason they're called convenience stores.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm willing to pay that convenience fee.
Right. If you want to save the $1 or $2, you can go down the street and go back to the big stores. But at the same time, during that time frame,
It's calling you out.
for touche, that's truth though.
So-
Do you want to park your car and walk in? It's called convenience for a reason, for sure.
Let's kind of bring
You
that
pay
because
the extra $1 or $2.
you were talking about Solid Gold, and obviously, you guys, Bell's, Oddside, have been making, brought in these more economical craft beers.
Yes.
That's a very fair statement in regards to low cost.
We probably set the market on that in that
Like,
perspective.
and so you're now competing hand in hand with actual Budweiser dollars. Like you're not
Yep.
competing because you selling KBS, you're not competing against Budweiser. Nobody who drinks a
But are
2.4 of Bud, no, because whoever drinks a 2.4 of Budweiser is going to grab. Ooh, what is this KBS that costs me the same as a 2.4?
I like
of
a challenge.
Budweiser?
We'll make it happen.
So in regards to like Solid Gold, you guys are bringing in these economic dollar drinks. How does that translate in regards to your competition within the state? Those breweries that can't make that beer, that don't have the space.
They
to make,
can and they have. The difference is that we're not pricing that as
some
a
cheaper.
We are. So we came out with Solid
Who's
Gold, our
cheaper?
premium lager. Beer Me's cheaper.
Beer Me's cheaper.
Dramatically
Locals
cheaper.
Light is
Locals
cheaper.
Light is dramatically cheaper too.
So those are the three brands that I named
Matt.
in regards to Founders.
Perrin Light.
Perrin Light's cheaper.
Parent Light's cheaper. Okay.
Yeah, there's other ones.
Well,
the
I
difference
mean-
is for us is that we price it closer to domestic instead of closer to craft, right? So when you're probably taking a 15 or 17% margin on the difference, where craft is probably closer to 25 to 30, right?
It's what's weird is that it's not a race to the bottom at the moment.
That's all you.
It's a race to
Ooh, funky.
to actually set a value.
It's like a
And-
race to take market share.
Well, I say this. I say this statement a lot that the numbers are going to show that AB InBev lost about 8% of their business in 2018. That's an astronomical amount of product.
That's pretty big especially for them.
Oh, that's
the size.
that's insane.
That's
it's-
massive.
If we picked up 1% of that, our company would
0.25%.
would grow by 50%.
Right.
So for every barrel they lose, if we pick up a quarter of that, I'm happy to have it. And so a beer like Solid Gold is a shot across the bow at a company who's losing share astronomically.
I guess the question then it goes to this: does Solid Gold have corn syrup?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
No. Corn flakes. There's no corn syrup in it.
Oh, that's even
Well,
better.
let's put it this way, though. We talked about this at the tap room. Founders owns, a lot of the Kroger sets, if you will. But they're nowhere near where the domestic drinkers sets are.
We're always going to live somewhere in between.
So how does somebody who's a craft brand bring over? I mean, I don't.
Center aisle pallets.
No, because I think
because everybody shops in that middle aisle, right?
no, because I feel like
they're
playing.
shopping off of pricing.
But I think you guys are playing cricket while other people are playing baseball.
Matt, I want you to think about
I love your face.
how old are you?
I'm 33.
Okay.
I'll be 33 in
30.
March.
We're all probably pretty close in age here.
Well,
Whoa, no.
Yeah, hold on a second.
I mean within reason, because based on what
None left.
based
You
on
want
what I'm
some-
about
you
to
have some
say.
within reason. Okay.
The consumer
I still shop for $3.99 hams.
the consumer
Wow,
that's
Nick, this is deep.
the consumer that just turned 21 is going to drink craft beer.
Do you think so?
I absolutely
I know
I
so.
disagree.
I know so. Our demographic in our business tells you.
Well-
tells that answer.
If you're in
different.
college and ballers on a budget, you're gonna
30
go.
pack Bush Light.
Yeah.
Hams.
However,
Case
think about a
hams.
24 pack of Solid Gold, $18.99.
15 pack all
30,
day.
$13.99 for a 30 pack. I get 6 more beers
I'll
for
tell
the
you
same
what.
price.
When I was in college,
I
if
can
all day
promise you they're
IPA would
looking.
exist in a 15 pack, I wouldn't have drank that crap.
Okay, I'll
the
tell you-
other not the all day. The other stuff I drank.
Where'd you go to school?
Grand Valley.
Okay, I went to Central. Okay, Mountain
You
Town
guys
was
just drank like river water.
true story. But like, I $13.99 for a 30 pack, and Mountain Town Brewery was right up the street. It was like $130 for a half barrel.
Right.
But I mean, at the same rate, I can get 5 of them, 5 30 packs, and then
Ken's question was asking if we are appealing to the mass consumer. And the mass
my question to you
Yeah.
was: you guys are in different parts of the Kroger and Meyer set.
Sure.
Like
Right.
the
Meyer sets. Kroger's are all the same.
The reality is we have to.
Right. So, it depends on the store. Obviously, we've tried it, and Meyer has put us in the domestic aisle. We've also had Kroger put us in where we are next to the rest of our beer.
next to Hams.
So my challenge always is
you guys can be in the
not a
Michigan
bad
beer
spot.
aisle. You just can't be in the craft beer aisle, right?
We're not here to
Oh,
talk about
we're gonna
that.
go
I
into
mean,
that?
we can
Is this
talk
why I
about
haven't seen you in 2 years? Because
I was trying to figure out, like, am I gonna drop
was the
it?
last
Where
question
I'm
you
gonna
asked
drop
me.
it? Is it
And
just
then
gonna
Kevin
be right
never
at the
came
end?
back.
I've embraced that part of our business.
Ken's in the
more than I-
warm aisle, not the like long sleeves aisle though.
So no, I always and I've told Kevin 100 times. It's one of those things to where if you like it, it's a good beer.
Right.
If you enjoy that beer, drink it. I don't care what you drink, enjoy it. Be safe. Be mindful.
Art-
I don't. Oh,
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to
Go
get
ahead, I'm sorry.
to. I'm trying to get
He's
to.
on his soapbox.
No, not on my soapbox. I'm trying to
Get off
get
your
to,
soapbox,
because
Ken.
if you like it, it's a good beer, which is the slogan of North Center Brewing over in Northville, Michigan, just south of 8 Baseline Road over on North Center.
There's the plug.
There you go. That's what I was trying to get. I'm sorry. I didn't
The
mean to cut
inaugural
you
He
off.
dropped
My Beer
that in
Box,
Arizona.
the My Beer
Just every
Box
time.
inaugural partner.
So I'll tell you that we came out, especially with Meyer. They the biggest part we have. They decided to put us in the domestic aisle, and it's lived somewhere between Michelob Ultra, Actually, it was Budweiser, Solid Gold, Bud Light.
That's good.
And
That's
we.
That's a good spot.
That's
It's
amazing
not.
for
It's
you.
not red, white, and blue, right?
We're pretty
So
we're pretty thankful to have
the
it.
biggest difference is that people who are coming for Founders were not looking at in that spot. So we're not there yet. It may live there and exist and thrive, but it will take some time to get there. So we found that depending on the store, if you put it near the craft, it'll perform better. However, it still performs if you put it next to that too. Maybe not as much. So it's not even a year old yet. So we don't know what this will be.
Solid Gold's not a year old yet?
No.
No, it's literally you're about a week and a half, 2 weeks away from being actually 1 year old itself.
Wow.
And we actually now
I feel
have
like
as
it's
many
like-
SKUs.
And you want to know what's amazing?
What's that?
It's double our number 3 brand. It's our number 2
Really?
by a landslide.
So last
What's
year,
number one?
we expected to be about 20,000 barrels of solid gold. We did 40. We're gonna go ahead and double it again this year. Is what our anticipation is. So it
So if
did
anybody
more
thinks
than what we
it's not
anticipated.
working.
So is
Yeah.
this not?
It clearly is.
Is this like an
They're
Austin
mistaken.
Powers, like a solid gold, like an
I
Austin
wanted
Is that like
somebody getting
gold
all gold
member?
and
Is that-
gold member. You know what I mean?
So we're actually going to take a break. We're only going to take one break. We started a little bit late today. We are going to play from Brother's Son of the Ferndale Set, one of their songs. They're performing at Smalls next month. Go check it out. We appreciate Ferndale Set as one of our sponsors, and we will be right back with the Better on Draft podcast.
People say you get too woken. They just can't find a little soul. Light up a cig and let's get talking. Talking that rock and roll is more than just a style of play. It can get you what you need, just let it take you away. If you're ever feeling down, forget about the bullshit, dance your worries away. People say you get too woken. They just can't find a little soul. Light up a cig and let's get talking. Talking that rock and roll. Sit right back, relax and chill. Let me lead you on your trip, see how that rhythm feels. Don't let troubles cloud your mind. It's only in your head, you are so mighty fine.
And we are back, Better on Draft podcast,
Hi, everybody.
live in studio in Hockey Town, Detroit, Music Town,
It's
Detroit.
quiet now.
It really cleared out. I'm kind
It
of
did.
surprised.
They've got the stools on the table. Therefore, it is closing time for them, not for us.
Well,
at least
at
up
least the
here.
upper-
yeah. I'm sure a lot of people will be filtering in down here to grab a post event
It's
drink.
like happy 8 o'clock, guys. We're closed.
Happy 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock Friday night. Sorry.
They'll
Kinda-
be-
Hold on.
Kind of feels that way for a lot of places that I've been to before. They're like, well, we kind of talked about it on the show last week in regards to like showing up to a brewery or a place before they close and like, oh hey, I want a beer or I
Maybe
want
they're gonna go the other way
a
around.
food or something like that.
I think
so,
one beer is not bad.
I mean,
A sandwich, you're a jerk.
yeah, like
Well, that's what you can just go to Lafayette and get some post.
So
event
it actually
eats.
happened to us. Like in Phoenix, we were at the Royal Rumble, I think 2 weeks ago.
yeah.
Yes.
Grossly unprepared for the 45,000 people that were going to come out of Chase Field
Too long.
at 10 o'clock at night. You had places with
It
kitchens
was in a
closed.
ballpark?
Yeah, it was at Chase Field. So,
Were you like dipping in the pool?
no, I wish. And they didn't do anything with the pool. That would have been amazing.
Don't drink too much of this, by the way.
Yeah.
But
What's the ABV on this?
It's the base beer of Bolt Cutter, so it's got to be at least.
It's pretty good.
That's a 15%er, but 2.5% to 3% usually is. So this is probably right around 12.
Makes sense.
I'd say
Should
12.
we cut this some with Milwaukee's
man.
Best? Call it Beast
I
Cutter?
wish I would have brought some. We could have mixed that
This
with
is
everything.
So what is the name of this beer?
it's called Spike Cutlass.
Spike Cutlass, and what is
Yes.
it?
So
It's the
far,
base beer of Bolt Cutter.
Thank you.
It's a barley
Yes.
wine. Of some
It's a
sort.
barley wine.
barley
Sorry,
wine.
yes.
Tastes
Yes.
like a barley wine.
So basically, and on the label, I see an actual Cutlass, the vehicle,
Got Spike Lee.
a picture of
Yeah.
Spike Lee, and one of the dinosaurs I'm believing from the land
That's
before
Spike
time.
from
This is
Land
a
Before
Spike
Time.
Lee
Yeah.
joint.
Yes. So this
That
is
was
Spike Lee joint.
this is an employee holiday bottle. We get a gift from Founders every Christmas. And,
So we actually have 2 employee-only bottles in the building today, which is really cool.
What's the other
One,
one?
you told me not to drink. You told me that you wouldn't drink that, so I'm not.
I did not take my case.
I already drank his case.
Yeah.
You thought it was good?
I like it.
So this is the. So we have 2. So that was 4 years ago. Was Spike Cutlass?
This is fucking rough.
Yeah, it's pretty.
This
rough.
is rough.
This
This is
is
way
this is gonna
past
put
the
like an
scratch.
extra.
Drink.
Like I
This
said,
is
don't
this is
drink.
the perfect segue to tell you why you drink beer fresh.
You know what? He's right.
I don't know if this beer would be good fresh.
It was.
No,
good.
it's
It was great.
incredible
It was
fresh.
incredible fresh.
Absolutely.
The other beer we have is called 12 Feet Under.
a wrapper?
And if you read the label, it says a double IPA, triple aged in bourbon barrels, or a triple IPA, double aged in bourbon barrels.
or
What?
yes.
Again, employee only, not for retail sale. It does say that on the label.
So we're gonna have Ken drink it first.
So when they come
That
out
one
with
or the
these,
Spike Cutlass?
when-
Because I've
when
already
they,
had the Spike
they
Cutlass.
come out with these, these employee only.
Yeah.
I mean, is this basically just saying that the employees are the focus group? That eventually this is something that's going to be made, or is it just
Possibly.
no.
It does say it on my shirt here, brewed for us. So
When they
maybe.
come out with these, it's like only we could give this away to our employees.
No, it's also the
Yeah.
Leslie Chow. Did you die? Beer.
But did you die?
But did you die?
So if they packaged and tried to sell this, it wouldn't work. So they just said, you know who will drink it?
No, hon, you could make it work if you did it 1 week a year, like CBS.
We've tried.
I mean, that's still that's spitting.
What was the name of that beer?
Barrel Runner?
Oh,
Damn.
We've tried.
So the news.
I feel like that.
Roberta
Well,
Walters. over here.
so you were gone when we discussed what we were going to talk
sorry.
about for the second half. So we want to talk about all the beers that we've had because we had so many beers just
Quite a
like
few.
pouring through.
I'm not gonna
So
finish this one.
let's kind of like
Did you try? Wait, what?
let's sandwich it. We'll give Ryan, our producer, a little bit too. Have him see if he enjoys it.
No.
He is smiling more than Joker right now.
He gave the thumbs up. He wants it. All right.
Oh, yeah.
One of the big things that we I want to sandwich some beers. So first we had CBS. It was a 12 ounce. That's the one that was going to
It's 2017.
Canada. What did you guys think of the CBS? What's Canada feel like in regards to the CBS? Do they like it? Is it
They buy a lot of it.
They do. They really.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
We got,
Rubeus all day are both on fire in Windsor, and we're growing our
Mosaic
Canadian
Promise
footprint.
actually does really, really well over there.
Do you guys brew it differently? Like Budweiser's like 8% alcohol in.
Well, they
Windsor.
brew it in a different facility. This is all brewed still in GR.
So So the beer, the all day in Windsor is the same all day as it is in Detroit.
Oh yeah, it's all made in Grand Rapids.
Okay.
There's-
So I mean, I just wondered because I don't know if they have clearly more liberal views.
And they
of
used to be
beer.
like, our beer is
Well, so-
stronger
so-
and better.
It's like
no,
Schlitz.
Well, no, they would always say our beer is better because their beer was stronger.
Kevin's probably got a little bit of
better.
better grasp on this than I do because he's got a close personal relationship with our international salesperson in Canada.
Oh, I thought he was about to say he's Canadian. I'm like, oh, is that why he's so friendly?
I can tell you this:
He's friendly?
Our largest, I would say, majority of our business in Canada is through the LCBO. So that's
true.
the Ontario Liquor Commission runs their own retail, and the majority of our product is sold through their retail stores. It is an arduous process to get our product through those doors. As you can imagine, dealing with a government entity to sell your beer to them isn't a smooth process.
It's not. And actually, the most difficult part is that if you introduce a beer and it does not perform, it is never allowed back into it.
Do you think that would
So
be?
it's a strategic part for us to
like-
find
it's like a
the
bad
right beer for
senator.
that. Yeah.
That's
think that
crazy
would
that
be a-
you guys went with Mosaic. Your Mosaic IPA. Like, it's just crazy that you would think that would be a top seller in the country.
It's doing well.
It is.
It's not doing. It
what
did well.
what is a comparable beer to that beer from
In
not
Canada?
necessarily Canada, but even at least Michigan or the U.S.
There's not a lot of smash beers, honestly.
that's a
So
tough- that's a
that's
tough question.
most of the beers we try, even the pales, IPAs, they're gonna have a blend of hops,
Just a
blend
nice
of,
hoppy
blend of
tail,
malts.
yeah.
It's there's not a lot of smash out there, so there isn't a lot like that. That's actually why it performs better than the other two.
Kevin, do
our
you think
seasons.
that having that rigid structure is good or bad for a salesperson like yourself? Like,
rigid structure for what?
like
Having
the
to deal with the
LCBO.
government, having to deal with the Canadian government as opposed
I mean,
to.
It's
somebody who fights for shelf space.
unfortunately, it's the brutal honesty of how we have to perform internationally. We're in 33 countries now.
That's fucking crazy.
And 47
really
states,
is.
right? So each country's going to be a little bit different. Our close neighbors probably actually have some of the most strict laws. So it's easy for Michigan beer.
We were talking about this earlier. A well-documented story. We lost the breakfast stout baby on our label a couple years ago. We did get
yes.
it back in eventuality. On our international breakfast stout bottles, the baby is not on there.
Do you still have the 517 number on the
No, it's actually
you can
just
still call that number, by the way.
I would love to.
You can.
Has it gotten easier since introducing beer into Canada, dealing with the Liquor Control Board in Canada?
mean,
has it gotten? Obviously, you talk about it being a
little bit,
complex,
for sure.
arduous
So-
process. Has it gotten easier for you guys? So, that
So
way
from
you
my
guys know what you need to
understanding,
do?
and it's obviously still limited because I only deal with stuff here in Michigan, East Michigan more specifically, is we were in Canada at some point. The format for us to sell our beer, they're very highly single serving selling stuff. We want to sell them 15 packs, right? We're known Founders 15 packs. That does not translate to international just over the border.
Sure.
So we were there, and for whatever reason, there were some laws that changed. We pulled out, and then we just got back in.
So there's a relearning.
Just got back in
So there's a
2017.
relearning process.
I remember-
It is. And so
one of Kevin's good friends is his name is Ralph Hugger. He works for us. He's our on our international sales team. He handles just the country of Canada as a whole. So we have one person assigned.
That's awesome.
That's impressive.
I
and to-
love Canada.
And to
there's
address
pockets that make sense, though.
to address it in a way that makes sense is that this is a relationship based business, and so Ralph is deep in the trenches of building relationships with the LCBO and beyond to get out and get in distribution, and he spent some time in Germany,
Italy.
for us in Italy as
Yep,
well. So
yep.
he was over,
Italy's crushing for
he
us.
was overseas selling craft beer, slinging Founders
living
all day.
in Germany.
Yeah.
You're welcome for it.
I remember watching Snapchats of them having issues with Germany's government and like rioting in the streets.
Yeah, it's
and
called the
he's sitting
Bundestag.
at a cafe, and he's like, he's FaceTiming me or Snapchat, whatever it is. He's like, I'm literally just trying to sell some all day, and there's just people like throwing stuff. He's like, what's going on?
Jeez.
So back to beer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Rue de Floyd that we cracked open there. I
So
think
good.
everyone was drinking
Really good
that and
beer.
having that. So that is the
Nick, you might have won the night.
the Three Floyds version of it. So there's
Yeah.
actually a brewery version of that beer as
I
well.
want that.
So the brewery version, when I went to, it would have been almost 2 years ago. We did actually a KBS 7-year vert of KBS. And that was also one of the bottles that we were drinking throughout that night. Was we had both Rue de Floyds, and the brewery one definitely outperformed the Three Floyds one. But I think if you guys understand my palate, it's going to be a little sweeter. It's going to be a little more on that malty side as opposed to the Three Floyds.
You're saying that this one here,
Very, very rich.
So I got
pretty sharp.
Yeah. So I got this when I went to Three Floyds a couple. You know, I will be blunt. I got this a couple years ago. It's 2017.
I think it's the only time they ever did it.
Yeah. But that was the time that I didn't have my license and I couldn't drink there.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
But I tried to take care of it as best as I could. I did not know what to expect. I thought it was a little too cherry, like sour cherry, but I guess
like
that's
it.
what
That's
I
why I
would
like it.
expect. And
It's because the cherry cuts through the viscous.
funk.
as I've been drinking more of it, I probably had by at least a third of the bottom between the 7 of us. It's definitely grown on me. So I'd say it's pretty good.
I lived in Chicago for a number of years, and I was fortunate enough to have too much access to Three Floyds. I lived on the south side of Chicago, no less.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
What are you doing? Or what were you doing?
I went to college in Chicago.
But like, where? Like, did you have a? Did you go
Northwestern?
to bulletproofvest.com or?
No, I lived in
Northwestern is in Evanston, by the way.
This unbeknownst to most
UIC.
people, there are plenty of areas in the south side of Chicago that aren't stabby and shooty.
Oh, Chirac, no Chirac.
There are plenty that are, but there are plenty that are not, and so there's a lot of nice
Rob.
areas. I lived one street up and one over from the Obama family home.
No kidding.
Yeah.
After the Rue de Floyd, we did the Blushing Monk.
Blushing
And
Monks
that,
is delicious.
That is this year's Blushing Monk?
This is this
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Done every 4 years.
Fresh monk.
Is that going to be a continuous thing every 4 years?
I hope
or-
not. It's my kryptonite. I buy more of this than anything else that we actually produce.
I
Like,
think
if anything you should make, it's this.
some things have to have some exclusivity. Because I
Amen.
mean,
They don't
when you
have
bring
to.
out CBS and then you bring out CBS 3 years in a row.
I can tell you it's not on the schedule
It's-
this year.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
I think they said
wait,
that last year,
Blushing
too.
Monk.
Oh, I thought you said...
I mean, yeah, that's what I meant.
Next year.
Yeah, next that's what I
So-
meant. Next year.
No, this beer has basically it's 4 times the raspberries as rubeus, and it's the only Belgian yeast strain that we use in our in
I don't
bottling.
even taste Belgian yeast in this.
You get a little
No,
spice
I
and
disagree.
funk
I
to
don't.
it.
I get it
No,
at the end.
I do. I get a little bit on the nose, but this is probably the best beer for us to age if you were to age it, because all that pectin
Don't
and
say
all
that
the.
because they'll age it for years now.
You should
I'm still drinking
I think
2015
it's
right
an
now. It's
unnatural
Just put a
age
case
phenomenal.
in his cellar.
hide some bottles of this.
You,
I
you
mean-
get a lot of people who just unnaturally age it because they want to keep it. They don't want to drink it because
It's still
for a
tasting
while.
phenomenal.
Yeah, for a while. Well, it was continuously
time
tasting
we-
phenomenal, but for a while, people did not want to drink it because it was their last ones, and it's
Founders consumers.
That's kind of how I am. With that Rue de Floyd, for example, I wanted to bring that in.
We should stick you in a basement for a couple years.
Yeah, I know, right?
doesn't
I
look
wanted
like
to
he's
bring
been
that for a
for
special
He's not gonna age
occasion.
as well, though. I'm just gonna
I
tell you
figured,
that.
okay, the studio was gonna be packed tonight.
Yeah.
What's a good time to bring it? So
Dan
that's
was
why-
in town.
Yeah, Dan was in town. We got you guys in here, so I figured
I
it would
could-
be a good one to bring out.
I could
But
only
again,
say I'm
you're down to your last bottle. You're gonna want to hang on to it.
Blushing Monk is my favorite beer from Founders.
I've never had this beer, and it's clearly it's ascended real fast.
Doesn't suck.
This is.
It's really good.
It
It's-
doesn't suck.
I love
This
it.
is
Considering
it's-
I will go half and half.
Can you make a
with
blushing
Rubeus.
monk sour by chance? Like a blushing monk,
So
a
there's
blushing
two
monk kettle sour?
2 things that we will never produce.
A sour.
And this is a sour.
Fuck you. Literally,
Thank
like,
you.
And
hey,
number
fuck,
2 is a
fuck you.
hazy IPA.
Fuck you.
So I did
Thank you.
we did an amazing beer dinner not that long ago. We had an account that did a 5-year vertical beer dinner with KBS.
Fuck you.
It was amazing. And Jason Haystack, who's our barrel master, came out to that, and it was a question that was asked: would you ever make a sour? And this is the man who literally decides what beer we put in a barrel.
We met him at the craft beer con.
Yeah.
I did.
Great
You
guy.
were
Yep.
off Thornton.
So he was asked if you would ever make a sour, and Jason Haystack's response was, "God, I hope not."
I will wrestle Jason Haystack till the death.
You'll wrestle him to the
Like,
death
just
to get a
over
sour.
You might lose. You
Well,
may,
I mean,
you might
No,
lose.
he's not.
Who knows? Who knows?
He's
I mean,
he's about
a
like,
Founders Funkatorium sounds awesome.
No, this blushing monk
Saying.
sour would be amazing.
I just want Rubeus.
Rubeus Nitro Sour.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you. However,
it's just never gonna happen.
the amount of stuff that we do, and the barrel aging process that we have, we cannot afford an infection or any.
Don't tell me you can't afford anything. I've seen your facilities. You've got like 5 of them.
No,
I'm saying
he
me
can't
personally,
afford
I can't
a bad
afford anything.
PR with an infectious beer.
But you can just sell it. That's part of our sour program.
We run.
Bam.
So we circled back on this a while ago, but we talked about being in the conversation of being that sort of value level brand, right? We make All Day is not expensive as a brand to get.
Yeah.
The
Backwoods, great example.
The quality. Backwoods is the best example of that. The quality's there for the price. It's not going to kill you. That means our margins deliver a product to our wholesaler. There's a price there, and we're not making we're making tight margins.
Again, we talked about this, but there's a point where you as a craft beer establishment, I might believe that more than Ken does, but you should be able to hold things back and do the limited releases.
We still are.
But I need you to make this.
You just drank
I need
one.
you to make this fucking Blushing Monk in a goddamn limited release sour barrel.
Hey,
Do you want some more
I want a
spike
30
Cutlass?
pack of this, and that's not going to happen.
How about this? I will pretend that I'm a beer store. I'll order a keg of it. I'll just sit around for let's say a year or two.
You're still a bad. You're a bad
their names
customer
are
if you
on
buy
it, yeah.
one keg.
HHP.
You watch me do me, as Rocco once said. There's a Tudge's Pub in St. Clair.
So is it who farted or hoof hearted?
Hearted brewery.
So
I'm
it's
telling you
who-
right now
it's-
that
so it's who farted.
I'm asking right now where the brewery name is, and that's it. And I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Just saying.
This is also, it's also been a horse
We've been trying to
name.
figure it out for a couple
Yeah.
minutes.
No,
It's who farted.
It's who farted. Which I think they're out of Columbus.
Yeah,
Ohio.
they're
No,
somewhere
in
in Ohio.
Illinois, I believe.
Yeah.
No, they're in Ohio.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it.
It's
Now,
delicious.
now that they've actually started distributing here.
This is better than official.
Obviously, one of the big ones that they have is Conky Dong, which
You
it'd
got
be
man when I
inter-
called you that.
it'd be interesting to see that. What?
God damn it, Matt.
Right.
I wish I could mute you.
As a person or
You can't. There's buttons in front of them.
Yeah, we don't know. We're not touching those damn buttons. No
So
idea-
we
no
just
idea what
did.
happened.
We talked about Blushing Monk. We passed around. So I passed around. Did anybody get a chance to taste the Red Tape Amber?
That was
Yeah.
yummy.
No, here.
Well, I've got a
That
whole,
was
whole can.
yummy.
Oh,
Yep.
well, is
I think you
is
tried that,
Is that open can?
Jack
It's
Jack
empty.
Savvy Lager is my jam. Like just their standard house. I think it's house lager.
Yeah.
Is my jam. Yeah.
So this is one of the beers that I got while I was in Boston. I don't remember much of my entire trip.
It's a good choice. That's a great trip.
They actually
Sounds like you were actually in Boston then.
I was. They actually rented out the House of Blues on Monday night, which they did one of those.
Is it the double fist of Guinness night?
Oh yeah, I was double fisting Guinness that night. I was double fisting everything else every
The
other
only
night.
time I've ever
Gosh.
thrown up on an airplane was back from Boston
Why'd you throw up on an airplane?
because I
I'm
drank
curious.
you
so
drank so
much
much.
alcohol.
You
on
should
the
drink
airplane
more.
or before you got on?
but the day before I got on that.
Yeah, we
Damn,
were
that's
we were
Oh, you threw the day
drinking at
after,
the
yeah.
airport. We were drinking at Tommy C's before we went on to the airport. But yeah, during that time, I was drinking because it was open bar Guinness draft because that was the easiest thing to drink, the easiest thing to go down. Like I don't know about you because I know a lot of people talk about Guinness and being such a heavy beer. To me, it's one of the lightest beers
So
out there.
what's really not known about Guinness, and this is a fact
Is that
that
it sucks? Like
Oh, stop!
A, that's
It's
not
Blasphemy.
It's actually one of the best beers.
Guinness sucks a lot.
pound for
Guinness
pound,
is
pound for
great.
pound, one of the lowest calorie beers on the market.
Yep, it's $1.25 per 12
And it's
ounce.
only what 4.1 or something like
High
that.
in
It's
iron.
even
Yeah,
less.
it's not a big ABV
Good
either.
Guinness sucks terribly.
anti-hangover beer. If you
Why
want
do you
to
Yeah,
think
the first day, once I calculated the next morning how I felt, I also calculated the beer the previous day, and I want to say 16 beers day one, easily did 20 beers day two.
But you did keto.
Yeah, I was not keto this week. That is
yeah,
for sure.
he's getting off of that. It's
Keto was
pretty
on
obvious.
vacation.
No, it was vacation. The thing is I had so many different trips, and I'm like, screw it, I'm not going to bother. But I am back on it after tonight. Back to the vodka
tonight?
and 7-Ups.
So that means no beer for you.
I mean, so I'll be doing shots and stuff. Obviously, like small little tasters at the festival coming up. What are you guys bringing to the festival next week?
It's posted already.
The list came out.
I know
Oh,
it
wow.
is, but
Okay, well.
that
Yeah.
How about you tell
Hope
us?
it's that spike. Whatever.
For Winter Beer
How about
Fest,
give
you
me
mean?
like 30 seconds and I'll
Yeah,
tell you.
for the Winter Beer Fest. What are you bringing? Are you guys gonna
He'll
be
look
there?
it up. Him and I will not be in attendance. We host summer and fall, so Winter Beer Fest is our other
I was there
other
last
better
year.
halves, our squad on the west side. So.
Do you guys go to the Winter Beer Fest for?
I have Typically,
Yeah.
every single year.
Attendance?
He goes there
and
when
my-
you're like not wearing shirts and stuff.
When you don't bring a coat.
I was there.
Yeah,
That was,
you
that
were
was
there.
2 years ago.
Oh, I
Like
forgot
he
a
asked
coat,
me if I
guys.
never met him before. I'm like, yeah,
My-
remember
it's
that?
10
in
minutes.
my opinion, Winter Beer Fest is the best beer list. Summer Beer Fest is the best attendance. Also, the largest running fest that we have here in the state.
Okay.
And Fall Beer Fest is my favorite because I can almost Uber home.
I think that the UP Beer
minutes.
Fest.
I can-
I think the
Uber
UP
home,
Beer Fest is
Uber
the
home.
best. The UP Beer Fest.
UP is my favorite one.
I did not enjoy the UP Beer Fest as much as everybody else did.
Were you
didn't
there when
enjoy
it was
that?
just torrential downpour?
No, it
and-
was a gorgeous day, but in comparison,
I really thought you.
for
I
what?
thought
The
you
attendance
loved
of the
it.
breweries, you mean?
Not
weird
even
list?
attendance of the breweries because I did a lot. Like I tried a lot of UP beers up there,
Right.
Just because there's a lot more UP breweries that go to that festival and only that festival as opposed to the others. In regards to the festival itself, I think it was a little. I guess maybe a little just lackluster in comparison to like my favorite is definitely the fall. And sans
Yeah.
maybe the last 2 years, the weather for the fall festival has been on point.
Perfect.
Minus the last 2
Yep.
years.
See, I'm gonna disagree with you on
And
this one.
so again, the UP it's not bad, but I think everyone in the industry loves the UP festival.
Summer's my least favorite.
Yeah, I did not. I don't
Well,
like the summer.
this past year is actually the most tamed I've ever had. Ever attended.
I'm just tired of sweating.
It wasn't
That was
100 degrees.
tame?
Well, it wasn't 100 degrees.
Right,
for 2
yeah.
years,
yeah.
you know?
Compared to the
Yeah.
year before.
Also,
Well,
with-
that you're talking to someone that hasn't been to the Summer Beer Fest up until this most recent one. So
you went to
Neither
the
have
one.
I.
Well,
So
yeah.
hot.
Yeah, the shit is hot, and then the fact that you're basically in a
Like, not
valley
the good hot.
where all of that heat is just coming
But if you
down
come
on
to
you.
the Founders Tent, we have a
Yeah.
little kiddie pool. We got spritzers. We'll keep you cool. We'll have,
Yeah,
water,
the
we'll have
fun-
water balloons this year. That's gonna
I
happen.
thought the UP Beer Fest was the best because it's only like the craft beer, like the super enthusiasts. So it was like
Because who's making that drive?
It's definitely an enthusiast
And you have the
without
tractor
being a
festival.
CBY.
Is it a
Like it's not
tractor
the
festival?
snobby
What's
beer
CBY
people.
again?
Oh.
Craft beer Yeezus. So think of someone who likes craft beer as Kanye West.
I don't like thinking about that.
But bitches
it's a
at you
good-
because
yeah.
your beer doesn't have enough IBUs.
Not enough hops.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
it
a
was- I
term
think-
we use for people who are the people you definitely hate.
Wait,
on
that
the
it's like a
board.
exists?
craft beer elite fest.
Ever since this show started, it existed.
Yeah.
Oh, it's always
The- the
existed.
one-
It's always existed, but we just brought it to the forefront.
Not ever since.
The-
It
who's
was
the
long
founders?
before.
Yeah.
the founders right there. Kevin
you know what?
and Alex.
They're the first ones to bring it out every week instead of like just like once every quarter.
So I have the list for Winter Beer Fest.
Let's do it to it.
Go.
We're doing KBS, which will be actually a 2019 release.
Can I bring some Milwaukee's best to cut it with?
Yeah, please.
ice or
They'll
light?
have it on tap too.
Kentucky Beast.
Kentucky Beast Stout.
Ice
Hell
light,
yeah.
ice light or red?
We're doing Blushing
Red.
Monk. We're doing Backwoods. We're doing DKML.
Ew, I'm sorry.
Oh, jeez.
Rolling
Wait,
it out.
Dan's
Rob.
all excited.
Ew.
Hey,
Thanks, Rob.
hey, that's for me. I really love DKML.
It's
That is-
great when it's 110 out.
So wait, really quick,
Yeah.
is that a return DKML?
This is.
Oh, you stop
this
it.
Is OG.
Have you
We
tried
will
it?
ne-
since?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
It's
6
like
months. Past 6 months. Anybody?
it's like candy
I
corn.
haven't
It's the
seen it
same
lately.
brand they ever made. It's the same
no,
one.
it's the same drop.
I haven't had it in the last.
I haven't seen it.
It was-
since it first came out.
You want some? I can.
I
you
might have
want-
puked
Well,
in my
let's just put it this way: I have a brother-in-law and a sister-in-law that absolutely love it.
We got barrels. We got a lot of barrels.
I mean,
actually.
it was
hard pass.
I have to get him a kegerator.
Hey,
at that
I
point.
mean, stereotypes aside, do not let the smooth taste fool you on that shit. Because
There's
I
no
mean,
smooth taste to it.
It is a
It's
smooth
No, it's
taste.
like MD4 2020.
Wait,
It's good.
wait.
It is
There's a
good.
stereotype for being 60 and liking malt liquor.
Oh,
Oh, Jesus.
Well, Dan and Rob both like it.
somebody messing with my gray hairs.
we're doing Barrel Runner. We're doing CBS. We're doing Better Half. And beyond that, it's some tried and true, obviously all day.
I was gonna say, do you have anything under 10% on that list?
We've got Solid Gold, Porter, Breakfast
You guys
Stout.
already thought of a Goza? Not even a sour, but a Goza?
Yeah. So actually, we're gonna drop some breaking news.
Holla at
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
you. What do you see him in the streets?
Damn, I didn't even got to my
So
news section.
in the past, and actually, this is probably the first press release of this information.
Oh, we'll make sure to post
So
it.
hopefully, I don't get fired
Once
for
he
this.
goes a black, you know.
They did say to share with our retail
Shout out to
partners and our
Ascension.
distributors. Right.
Drop it.
Right. So in the past, our summer seasonal for the last several years has been PC Pills, and
Meh.
that was true until a week ago. This year will be Green Zebra. We're rolling out 15 packs
Fucking right, bitches.
of watermelon goza in 15 packs,
I will mainline that shit.
and we hope you do.
Yeah.
So that was a decision that was actually made in lieu of the government shutdown. We
Sure, they have the label.
we
or-
were relabeling PC Pills as Pilsner, and we issued that label to the government, and the government then shut down for reasons, and
Green Zebra is amazing.
So, Matt,
it didn't
Yes.
get approved.
you can thank Donald Trump
Thank you,
for
Donald
Green
Trump.
Don't
Don't you? No, don't do that.
in
you just
2019.
He did. So yeah,
And, I mean,
as of about first or second week of April, 15 packs of Green Zebra for the first time. 6 packs are going to drop about $2 in price.
Can I get like 16-ounce cans? Or?
Oh, that'd be
No,
awesome.
no.
Now,
19
We do 19 chews and
mentioned
12 ounce. No in between at this
19
point.
twos?
That'd be awesome.
Zebra?
That'd be
Yeah.
so
Maybe
good.
next year, not this year.
Oh, fuck you.
So yeah, that was a very recent decision that we are actually sharing probably publicly for the first time.
Doing the Green Zebra is amazing.
we mentioned
15
on
rounds.
our website, betterondraft.com, the 20 beers to try for the 2019 Winter Beer Fest.
I need a
And on
sponsor.
our list was Founders. We pushed for people to go try Blushing Monk because that beer is so fucking good.
Amen.
Now, for the Winter Beer Fest, we are going to be there. Sans Nick over here. So Dan will be there, so you can get the infamous Dan meetup. Maybe if you're lucky, he'll take a picture with his sunglasses on with you. Matt and Rob
Take
will
him
be
with
there.
them off. That's the elusive thing.
Oh, Jesus. I don't think I've ever had a photo of me and you with your sunglasses off.
No.
I was going to say that doesn't
It's
exist.
elusive, yeah.
Summer Beer Fest.
so-
I think I still have that picture.
Winter Beer
think I was
no,
wearing
his
them,
his
wasn't
glasses were down.
Yeah.
Winter Beer Fest, we're going to be pouring for Drafting Table.
In other places.
Oh damn.
Well, you might be pouring for other places.
I'm sure we'll be recruited.
You always, yeah.
You
So-
guys want any of you guys want to pour for us?
So
Sign me up.
I'm basically just gonna say that you guys are pouring for drafter table because maybe that's not a good idea that my ass is back there.
Why is
Well,
that?
that you can't
He
drink.
will-
You
he
can't
will
drink the
leave.
beer while you're pouring
Yeah,
behind Drafting Table.
says
So
And
You're not allowed to
that's-
drink
Oh, you're
behind
just
the
gonna,
table.
That
you're
is-
gonna pound.
That is the problem, is because Mean Vanilla Bean is really one of my favorite
Who's
beers.
driving?
I'll tell you that Grand Rapids and that festival itself, they do not allow you to drink behind the table.
Yep.
They're pretty
That's
strict.
all the festivals do that.
They do.
So-
They do. That one more specifically, though.
Yeah.
What we noticed, especially for me, what I noticed going through the whole beer list and going through each brewery, because we do a lot to try to promote not the same breweries every single time.
Yeah.
So we always promote the brewery that we're pouring for. We always promote North Center Brewing, and then we try to cycle through and go through and promote. Go to Day Hops, which is a brand new, a newer brewery. Go to I think it's Nitzenberg. It's a really interesting name brewery. It's definitely German, for sure. The name of the beer that
Don't
we are
raise your hand
promoting
like
is
that.
Bouncing Betty.
Don't raise your
Salute? I don't know.
Don't raise
I don't
your
know what
hand.
that was.
German beer is so underrated in the
You're
craft
not
beer
allowed to say
So,
German.
the
but
right,
we
yeah,
also,
it's
we
so-
don't go with all the big heavy beers. We tell you to, go try a Pilsner, go try a
Right.
blonde, go
We go
try
to-
an amber.
Give me
go
Roger
try
Stone.
all these, we still saw, though, there are so many vanilla beers out there. Beers made with vanilla.
I thought you meant underwhelming.
I thought so too. Save the
There's
12%
also
beer.
there's
Plain
both.
Jane vanilla.
A lot of beers made with vanilla. A lot of vanilla beers.
Beers made with vanilla.
Yeah.
But one of the big things that I noticed, and especially for I think this is why I don't like the Winterfest too much, is that there's so many high ABV offerings.
Yeah.
That it kind of again, and we joke about it. You don't get a designated driver if you buy a designated driver ticket.
Save those high ABV for summer. I mean, do it right.
And we talked about it on
Maybe
the
saisons and lighters.
on the Shop Beer Co. and the Tap That AZ episode with Dan and I. We talked about it with the guys from Phoenix. When the weather is so hot and so warm all the time, they're not drinking those high ABV beers.
They're drinking all day.
Gozas.
They're drinking all day IPA.
Oh, I'm sure.
That
And I'm
is
sure that's
true.
why
It's
they're
a big hit
getting.
out there,
I'm
too.
sure that's why they're getting a lot of KBS. But what was crazy too is that the beer prices down there are a lot different than they are up here in Michigan. When Dan and I
in
went
a good way or bad way?
in a good way,
Good way.
in regards to, we went to the Shop Beer Co. and no pint cost more than $6, and they had New England IPAs, they had any beer, they had Belgian Strongs, beers that should cost more than a standard $6 pint. was only costing you $4 or $5, and not happy hour prices, just regular pricing. So
I just saw an amazing piece of information.
Okay.
Earlier this week, and this is public information. It's not anything that you can't access yourself if you have the right authorization to do so. So it's out there. Number 14 in dollar sales. So not in case sales, but just dollars sold.
Yeah.
At Meijer is Old Nation. Number 14 in beer sales.
In the
that's
world,
not
or-
surprising.
For the Meijer grocery as a
in the
whole.
Meijer grocery.
At Meijer
Yeah.
grocery. So we're talking about in case sales probably
Is that Meijer, Michigan, or Meijer Whole?
Meijer.
Because they are
Meijer, Michigan, but
okay. That's a big difference.
it actually includes Meijer as a whole, but they have less than 10 stores outside of the state of Michigan. So
So they're not a big.
I was going to say the
presence
first thing I
outside.
thought of outside of the state of Michigan is the Alexandria
Eagles.
episode, or Alexandria exit off of 75, the first exit going into Ohio, because that's where I go get my Yingling.
Black and
Matt,
tan.
that's your fault. Yeah, black and tan.
I just thought it was amazing that if you buy a 4-pack, again, I'm not knocking this in any capacity. It's a beer I respect. It's a company I respect quite a bit. So this isn't a negative conversation.
Travis Trick's magic over there.
Travis is an amazing,
especially for the beers that aren't New England IPAs. I just think it gets kind of put to the wayside. Matt, that's all your fault, by the way. You're
smacked that
getting the
over.
bill.
That's gone flaccid.
So go on.
Do
14.
you tell her that this never happens?
It's called fake China.
First time.
Fake chow. Fake chow.
First time.
Yeah, number 14th in dollar sales in beer.
Well, think about it this way. So we measure our data on IRA data, which is scan data through these platforms.
Scanners.
That a 4-pack of M43 or Boss Tweed is $15.99. A 15-pack is $15.99. So the volume is different. The scan data is telling the same story.
But isn't that like new to you guys? Because we've been talking. about
it's
this.
new to everybody.
It's
because
amazing.
When we saw that actually come up on our national data,
Amazing.
it's White Claw.
These guys hit
these
White
other
Claw's
things.
fucking amazing.
When we started looking,
fastest growing category in the history of alcoholic beverage.
Yep,
White
they
Claws
made,
and
they made
Truly
mention
is
of that
and-
at the most
and you
recent
know,
Hops
and you honestly
conference.
want to know what the
Pairing?
real. Well, we'll see how they
We'll see.
perform. But we all know the true performers of White Claw and Truly and these. I crush at least 3 12-packs of LaCroix a week. It's the same consumer.
Yeah.
It's the same consumer.
There's
It is.
there's a ton of data out on these on
Caloric,
these seltzers.
least
and
caloric
it's,
and
it's
carbs
amazing
and-
what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And we've never the data sets that are coming out. We've never seen anything.
Is there
quite
going to be a
like it.
Founders hard seltzer?
I was gonna say,
reconform.
Well,
Is there going to be a
would
Founders
need
seltzer?
I
They
hope
would
so.
need a. I would assume. I would assume.
I
that's
hope so.
Brewed under
Absolutely.
a cider winery license.
No,
for the
no,
summer.
no.
I thought
It's a
these
vodka.
are-
It's a
Yeah.
mash license. It is, I guess it
Really?
is. A,
You can make F&B under a brewery license.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever thought of making an FMB
No.
at Founder?
You'll
No.
need a vodka. You need to make vodka to make those.
No,
No,
it just
it's a
needs to
malt
be
liquor.
it just needs to be equal parts not beer.
Okay.
I guess maybe that's how the cider that Cellarman's had, because that was half cider, half beer.
Yeah, you can make an
Over
F&B
at-
under a brewery license for sure.
I'm kind of sad that Cellarman's isn't going to be at the fall festival or the winter festival, because they've decided not to go.
I saw Greenbush pulled out also.
Greenbush pulled out. Axel's pulled out.
yeah.
Why is this happening?
So I mean, well, from what I saw, it was Greenbush pulled out because they felt like there are so many different breweries that are here in the state that they actually wanted to give other. Well, what they said in their statement is that they wanted to give other breweries a chance and didn't want to take up the space.
Says the brewery that
that's
would
a
always
cop-out.
buy like 4 or 5 tables.
There's plenty of
That's a
space.
cop-out.
We've all seen the park. There's plenty of space.
Yeah, when it's not flooded, yeah, we have seen the park.
As long as it's yeah.
Is that
That
last
was
year?
interesting to see that
Yeah.
the festival did take a lot longer this year to sell out, especially after the.
Still not sold out
Do
today.
you guys want to taste
well-
another employee bottle?
Let's go for
Yeah,
it.
crack it
that
open.
Saturday's sold out. Friday's not. Friday usually never sells.
Friday
out.
never sells at any of them.
No, Friday never sells out.
Friday's
Trust me, you've been to a Friday and you've been to a Saturday.
far.
They are two,
without
no
question.
matter what.
So another
different.
employee bottle.
Just passing that.
Okay.
I'll drink it. I'll
And
drink it.
shout
I love
shout
it.
out to Mike and Dave,
the freak.
the owners of Founders Brewing Company, who graciously give us a case of beer every year.
And as you said, it's the beer that they just don't want to
It
sell.
used to be 2 bottles. So the fact you give me a case of anything.
in the past, it's been a beer like Double Trouble with instead of the old man on the Double Trouble label, it's Steve Buscemi upside down and inside out.
With multiple eyes.
Did you see the new show? Did you see Buscemi by chance?
No.
Great show.
And then
Daniel Radcliffe in it too.
there was
Walkers.
also CBS with Dave on a moose, right?
No, he's on the horse, but he's backwards.
He's on a horse.
He's shooting a pistol with rainbows, and he's holding a cat. There's a pig in there, and
So these guys believe in a little bit of giving back, and so they give us a beer.
they do.
Whether it's a beer that you think is the best thing in the world or not.
Right. So one of the things, and we kind of inched onto it. Hopefully, we'll get through this quickly because I'm being shown just 2 minutes. One thing we kind of talked about before we actually started was we were talking about there was a bit of an issue where people were not very happy about case limits in terms of some of the pub releases that were happening, that were coming out, that a lot of people were basically saying, why is there a 5 case limit? People don't need 5 cases. Why? I mean, it's almost like I wouldn't say it's a no rules approach, a la Perrin, because we all know with Perrin, when they break out with that stuff,
There's no rules.
There's absolutely no rules.
Hence the name.
But for there to be a 5 case limit, it for those that just want to come in and pick up a bottle or a 4-pack, they kind of feel like they're getting a little alienated because there's these people who are coming out there and supposedly picking up all this beer, and there's none left for them. And kind of why is this case limit this high? Why does it need to be that high?
Well, that's tough because we're sales versus retail, obviously. I personally, myself, as a sales rep, been with us for over 6 years, stood in line to get the exact beer you're talking about. Mm-hmm. I didn't get everything I wanted. At the same time, those limits are not set by us. It comes from higher up. So there's no real way to answer why it was set that limit. So I know they heard everybody and they will answer it and they will actually do it accordingly.
I'll echo
so
that statement. Yeah, I know they heard it.
So it's not. We're still learning, right? We're a bunch of beer drinkers trying to make it along the way. So we hear people. We hear about your styles that you want. The beers we don't want to hear barrel aged. The ones that you do. So the fact that barrel aged Imperial Stout hit a barrel, do you think that came internally or from we're trying to make it along the way. So it will change, and I promise you that it will not be.
We're not perfect.
Yeah, we're not. There's gaps and there's errors, and we'll make sure that. Mug clubbers and the fans that want to do it will make it there.
That is going to do it.
That's it?
That's it.
That's it?
It's 9 o'clock. We skipped a break because we started late.
What time is it?
It is 9 o'clock.
Oh.
9 o'clock
Kevin,
on the
Alex,
dot. I'm in my drop.
I
top.
appreciate
Who's
you
on the
guys coming in. I think we're going to have to continue this conversation.
We're gonna do it again, yeah.
In a couple months, we have a remote set, so I'm thinking maybe we come to the
We
Detroit.
talked about that earlier.
How about Grand Rapids?
We can do the Grand Rapids one too. Obviously, it's a shorter drive for all of us to the Detroit one. But I mean, we could do the.
Can be brought down in
we
that
can-
little area, so we can.
We do it in the caves.
Yeah.
We can do it wherever you want. So
caves?
we're definitely going
can do
to
it
continue
wherever
this
you
conversation on another episode in the future. Obviously, there'll be more things that come out. We all brought great beers. I appreciate everyone bringing your beers. Guys, check out our sponsors. We have North Center Brewing over in Northville, Michigan. Zatuna Liquor over in Rochester Hills. And, of course, if you're looking for some great new indie music, go check out the Ferndale Set. You can find them on YouTube with a bunch of different music options, including Brother Sun, who we were on our first break and our only break. And you can find us facebook.com/Better on Draft, Twitter Better on Draft, Instagram Better on Draft, Untapped. Find out what we drink each and every week at Bod Podcast. For myself, Nick, Rob, Matt, Dan, thank you so much for showing up. We'll see you next week
Thanks,
at the
Dan,
festival.
For coming out. Holla at Dan for coming back.
Wait, what?
I'm trying to holla at Dan,
And that's
show
going
up
to do it
once in a
for
while.
us. You guys can check out Founders both at their breweries in Grand Rapids and Detroit, as well as now you know that there is Detroit-only exclusives. So go head out to the Founders Detroit, celebrating just over 1 year. For myself and everyone else, thank you very much for coming. Motown Music, or Music Town, excuse me, not Motown Music, Music Town, Detroit, Hockey Town. We are here live every once in a while. And no matter what you think of your beer, we think it's
Better on draft.
Better on draft.
Have a good night.
Peace.